Downtown St. Louis. Summer celebrations are here, and i3 Broadband keeps you connected. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 866-806-5485 to upgrade today, because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores, The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Good morning, friends. Happy Friday. We're going to have a good day today.
Yeah.
I'm positive of it. It's hot. It's humid. It's St. Louis, but it is wonderful in here, and we've got Hancock and Kelly on the show to start. So they will be with us for the hour, and then lots of fun. Well, we're going to do fun now. And then
put up with those two for an hour.
And won the fun.
Yeah.
We're not even waiting until 1 o'clock to do the fun. We're starting at 10.
Through until 10,
Yeah,
and then we'll have.
We got these bozos until 10, and then 314-436-7900. Join us by calling and texting and leaving voice messages on the Odyssey app and watching the show. Do that too. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You can find the KMOX news pages, or just follow us on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Well, we think we know who has supplied the poo-poo parasite lettuce. And it does appear the CDC and FDA have found the supplier of the problem. And it was a farm in California.
Of course.
Speaking of poo-poo, President Trump delivered a primetime speech last night
You're going to make the people mad.
on election vulnerabilities.
You're going to make the people mad. You are going to make the people angry.
I thought about not doing it. It just happened.
Cardinals resume the season tonight. That's right. They'll be in Arizona. It's a late night. 8:40 for the first pitch. And City SC resumed their MLS season. And last night, a win over the dirty, filthy, stinky Sporting
what was
KC.
the score of that game?
3-2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very prolific.
You know, there was
scoring.
by the way, I know what you're getting at. I don't score much, but here's what happened. There was a soccer fan, I forgot who it was, that points out, if a football game is like 21-14, you think, wow, look at all the scoring. But they only scored 5 times. Mm-hmm. It's the exact same as a soccer game ending 3-2.
All right, so make the goals worth more.
Listen.
You'll feel like they've scored more.
It does. I agree. It's kind of like $3.99 versus $4.
Well, I mean, if you score on a penalty kick, that ought to be 1 point. If you kick it inside that little rectangle there, that ought to be 2 points. If you're beyond the rectangle, that ought to be 3 points. And if you kick it from, well,
it's not basketball.
Midfield, that's 5 points.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Listen, guys.
If you score on a corner kick, that's 3 points.
This is inside baseball and really might only be relevant to those watching on the stream and may not even be relevant then. But I don't think I can do this show because I am at eye level with Ranj.
Yeah.
And I've never seen you so low at the desk.
I have to be honest, I like this better. Just real quick, nobody cares. But this, where I sit, the whole table raises up and down. And I don't like the up. I kind of like being down here.
You can watch us on the YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We highly recommend
you do. Why on earth would you ever want to do that?
Because
it's fun. You can see facial expressions, oh, wow. At any rate, this is very interesting having all 4 of us at eye level.
Gentlemen, what did you think of the president's speech last night on election integrity?
I actually watched about 10 minutes of it and was what was expected. It was kind of just a rehashing of all of his grievances. And I don't think he moved the needle. I think he's ultimately setting a stage to be able to try to intervene in the elections in November. But it was so complicated if you listen to everything he talked about. And the whole time that I was sitting there thinking is this man took time for the networks to spend almost an hour talking about this, yet we've been at war for 5 months. And he's yet to sit down and explain to us why and how we're going to get out of it.
Yeah, this whole election integrity issue is not helpful for the country because our elections are secure, have been. Is there fraud that occurs in elections? Probably every election has some fraud. Is it coordinated, widespread? No. And the idea that millions of people in this country believe that these voting machines can be hacked into is particularly harmful because none of them are connected to the cloud. You can't hack into them unless you're standing next to it. And there are so many safeguards in place. Plus, most of the country now votes paper ballots. So, it's a problem that doesn't exist, but it's a problem if people believe it exists that undermines the credibility and the legitimacy of our government.
Isn't that really what he's up to, though? Because he knows he's going to lose. And anytime Donald Trump loses an election, he blames that it's rigged. Mind you, his biggest complaint yesterday was about the 2020 election and the fact that the government didn't stop certain things that he thinks were illegal. Well, guess who was in charge in 2020? Donald Trump.
Yeah, in fact, Representative Thomas Massey in Congress, and he's been sort of vocal and a critic of the president, even though he is a Republican. But
and a very conservative Republican.
He's out of Kentucky. He's extremely conservative, and this is what he had to say on, I believe it was Morning Joe yesterday.
But I don't think the problem, is that our elections aren't secure because we control the House, we control the Senate, we control the White House, and in some degree we control the Supreme Court. So I asked my Republican colleagues, why are you complaining about election fraud? We won all the damn elections. The fraud that's going on is we're not holding ourselves to the promises that we made of fiscal responsibility, putting America first, making America healthy. The problem is we're wasting the opportunity that we were given in these elections, that we won, all of them.
Excellent point. I mean, he's spot on. And I don't think the president, again, moved the needle at all. I think he's just setting the table for his intervention that's going to come later. And by the way, I worry about what happens if he starts to send federal agents and troops in to mess with elections, because hopefully the Republicans who've rolled over and done whatever Donald Trump wants will show some type of a backbone like we saw Georgia do in the 2020 election.
Yeah, that's where I want to go with it, because, I mean, what's the real danger? What really could happen in the midterms here or a couple of years from now when there's a presidential election? Are we being too worried? Is it just, or is there something real there that we should be aware of?
Well, ballot harvesting is one complaint you hear a lot of times, where one person goes around and collects a bunch of absentee ballots and turns them in. That's now illegal in most states. Mail-in ballot fraud is another issue that is raised. There's no evidence that there's been any sort of widespread mail-in ballot fraud. In fact, mail-in balloting across the country used to be a Republican advantage, because Republican voters were more likely to take the initiative and request a ballot and then mail it in. And we took advantage of that for years in states like Florida. And now, because the president's been questioning mail-in ballots, you see less Republican voters inclined to use that method.
So are more Democratic voters using it, taking advantage of it, or is it just that Republicans have stopped using it?
Yeah, I think the latter.
It's the latter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it's so frustrating. I think what angers me the most is that Trump is willing to throw real doubt into people's minds about the election, the integrity of the elections. He's willing basically to throw the whole system, the country, our states' elections, all of the workers, Republican and Democrat in those states who help get those elections done, who run those elections, throw them all under the bus because of his bruised ego and because he can never admit to losing. And John, I know as you guys have looked at the history of our country, the foundations of our country, and the system only works if people believe it and trust it and say, no, we have election integrity. That's why the powers are separated the way they are. That's why the states run the elections the way they do. That's why you have Republicans and Democrats in each state involved in the elections. And if you're willing, to me, that is the most unpatriotic thing you can do is throw the entire country and system under the bus because your ego was bruised.
Think about this. We've had elections now for a couple hundred years in this country, and we've had state attorneys general, Democrats, Republicans. We've had the federal law enforcement, the FBI, all investigating. There's never been one case of widespread, massive voter fraud that has taken place by all of those law enforcement institutions through the history of this country. That ought to tell us something.
Yeah, I think it's important that people understand the way elections work, too. And it is the most decentralized thing that we do. Elections really aren't even run by states. They're run by counties. And both parties are sitting there the whole time in every precinct. You know, even here in the city of St. Louis in the Central West End where I vote, when I go there, believe it or not, there's a Republican sitting right there watching what I'm doing along with a Democrat. They are held accountable by the county.
Yep.
Then the county is held accountable by the Secretary of State. And all the things that the president is implying are being abused in all these other places are the exact same processes that are being used right here in Missouri where the Republicans win overwhelmingly.
Yeah, when you show up at the polls, there's a Democrat judge and a Republican judge sitting side by side, both of them signing your authorization, verifying your identity, handing you your ballot. When the actual votes are sent to the county government for tally, there's a Democrat judge and a Republican judge in the room while those ballots are being counted, and that is the case in every jurisdiction in this country. And, you know, America has gone and taught nations that were becoming democracies, especially after the fall of the Soviet Union, how to conduct their elections. In fact, our own used to be the Republican director of elections in St. Louis County, Paul DiGregorio, went over and Moldova became a democracy, and he was instrumental in implementing the system of voting and tabulating in Moldova. Why? Because American elections are the best run in the world.
So if you really wanted to be an enterprising individual and steal an election, could you do anything more than maybe somehow alter the results of one county, a single county? Could you do it for an entire state? I mean, even could you even do it on a national level?
I think the larger threat to elections is the outside influence of money coming in via social media, et cetera, to educate or change people's thought processes. But going and systematically trying to steal an election through the processes we use for voting,
votes, yeah.
I do not believe is possible, nor does it exist.
You're saying like what you're saying
essentially
is
Russia did.
Like Russia with divisive, like how can we divide America? How can we make the people hate each other? And through social media and all of those algorithms.
It seems to me to be the only way that you can technically steal an election. Whether or not that's stealing, I don't know. Certainly illegal.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly, you guys are the best. We're glad you're with us
done?
here. No.
I thought he was giving us
I would like to take a point of personal privilege.
This is good.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that'll be
gosh,
good.
this is unbelievable.
You may recall, I hate to go here because I
No, you don't.
don't like to talk.
Yes, you do.
I think it was April the 3rd, Ron.
Oh, are we going to do this thing about...
Oh no, what
I was-
happened?
I know what he's talking
I was
about.
sitting in that chair right there.
Yeah, it's a baseball.
And I said to Ranj, Jordan Walker is going to be the National League most valuable player. And they laughed. The callers laughed. The listeners laughed. Ranj even laughed.
Yeah.
They're not laughing now.
Oh, I'm still laughing. He's having a great season. He's not going to be the MVP.
Okay.
Mark that, Matt.
Yeah,
Right?
mark the tape.
Mark the
I
tape.
wish you'd have marked
Do you
the
know
tape
why he's
on
not-
April the 3rd.
Do you know why he's not going to be the MVP?
Why is that, buddy?
Do you know who exists?
Shohei Ohtani.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see.
And he's not okay right now. Let's look. He is he is the 8th favorite right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be.
That's
Well
just where
positioned.
Yes, that's right.
Well positioned. That's like that horse.
Yep.
Secretariat.
No, the one
No.
that won the Derby this year.
He was in last
Oh
place.
yeah.
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 I'm telling you, just keep an eye on that horse.
John Hancock says Jordan Walker is going to be MVP.
That's what I said.
All right.
April the 3rd.
You can either coattail John or you can fade him, whatever you want to do. Hancock and Kelly are with us on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. The Estates of Post Farms is another one of our exciting new communities in the fast-growing city of O'Fallon, located on Highway N just west of Duello Road. You'll love our trails, lakes, playground, and pickleball courts. Select a spacious estate lot, and we will build a luxurious designer series home for you with our legendary quality and personal service. Located within the acclaimed Wentzville School District. Visit McKelveyHomes.com. It's time to move up to McKelvey.
The cookie cutter approach works well if you're making cookies, but not so well when you're trying to plan for retirement. If you want a customized income strategy, call Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group today, 636-230-8824. Or go to YourMoneyMattersSTL.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
The Second World War is the largest event in human history.
A 20-part series with Tom Hanks.
No part of the globe was untouched. No life unchanged.
Experience the ultimate account of World War II.
Every single person had a story. These are the stories that make us who we are.
Listen to World War II with Tom Hanks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck, taxed. Your property, taxed. Everything you buy, taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at StraightTalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
100 years of service and still at your service. KMOX.
Well, boys, we think we know where the poo-poo parasite has been coming from. That is sickened. Yeah. It's, well, it's not good.
Huh.
Well, it could be a whole lot worse. But we know that the cyclosporiasis cases around the country have exploded.
Cyclosporiasis.
That's right. They've been exploding, literally,
Well,
for a while now.
Causing
last
the
several
heartbreak of cyclosporiasis.
It's, well, it's more of a poo-poo problem. But they do believe they have traced the problem back to a California farm.
Taylor Farms.
Taylor Farms.
Wow.
And Taylor Farms has supplied or does supply iceberg lettuce to Taco Bell. Certain Taco Bell restaurants, not all of them.
Now, that kind of changes the lunch plans, doesn't it?
It makes me, to be honest, to be completely honest, like as if I'm not usually, I feel kind of sad that it's Taco Bell. You know what I mean?
How did they know they had a problem? Don't most people have that reaction to Taco Bell?
I think that's why it took so long.
We avoided that joke when we were talking about it. When Taco Bell was the culprit, or it's not their fault. They just, they get
It's like saying White Castle is giving people.
So what happens to the lettuce when it's growing that causes the cyclosporiasis?
Someone went poo-poo in it.
On the lettuce.
Just hate this word.
Yes, it is. It's all from human feces.
Human? It's not.
Yeah. No.
So somebody is running around Taylor Farms and pooping on the lettuce. Is that what you're saying?
No, we don't. No.
This is why you can't find people to work in agriculture anymore. Now you got to hire people that are going to go poop on your lettuce.
Or maybe they didn't wash their hands, but it is from human feces.
Huh.
So I mean, it could be a non-hand washing thing. It could be something
observation.
like that.
So you're running around with poop on your hands.
Oh gosh.
And you're picking lettuce out of the ground.
Okay.
I think it probably has more to do with
wait a minute.
Some sewers or something.
You'd have to have
some wastewater that washed on.
You'd have to. I mean, for that poop to get from you to your hands to the lettuce in quantity sufficient enough to cripple Taco Bell, the amount of feces involved would be a staggering number. One would think.
We have a texter who said it's called humanure.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you're talking about a staggering number here.
I kind of agree with you. I don't know how that happened.
The magnitude of this thing is now, while we don't have widespread voter fraud in this country, we do have apparently widespread poop distribution on lettuce plants at Taylor Farms in California. This is horrible. I mean, this is not good.
That word is like fingernails on a chalkboard to me when you guys use that.
Really?
What, poo? I hate it.
Really? I don't want to smear anyone here.
Smear.
But we got to get our hands on the hands of the poop spreader because this obviously is comes down to a human being issue. Not good.
Sometimes these big farms, it's like livestock. It's there or whatever. It's E. coli, right? That's not what this is.
This is human.
This is different.
Yeah.
I went
How many people does it take to create an outbreak?
Well, this is another. Maybe it's a conspiracy.
But here's what's funny about this. Well, there are a lot of things that are.
It could be. You could see some migrant farm workers, perhaps, that are not happy about the direction of this country.
I don't think it's that. So I'm at a Schnucks yesterday. I go into a Schnucks yesterday.
Yeah, buddy.
And, walking through the produce, it's right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's like they're getting low on apples, they're getting low on bananas, low on grapes, whole bunch of lettuce.
Really?
Just so much lettuce. Just big piles of lettuce.
Now, for clarification.
It's like people are afraid to buy the lettuce right now.
Yeah. Well, for clarification purposes, we're only talking about iceberg lettuce here. We're not talking about
It was
romaine.
iceberg lettuce, yeah.
What's that puffy lettuce?
Could you identify all the different lettuces if we put them here in front of you?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
So you got the romaine out there, and then you got they call it, is it butter lettuce?
Mm-hmm. I like butter
I
lettuce.
like butter lettuce.
So
I mean, that's the way to go if you're going to have a sandwich this afternoon.
So it turns out
Get yourself some butter lettuce and put it on that bread, man.
It turns out it's chopped lettuce. That's what they believe right now. So Taylor Farms, they're one of the largest producers of fresh lettuce, and bags of the chopped lettuce
Not anymore.
can be found at Walmart, Whole Foods, Target, and their other grocers as well. So
are they pulling? They're pulling it, right? They have to. Don't you have to pull all Taylor Farms lettuce off the shelves?
I would think so.
Yeah, you would have to.
Because you got these rogue workers out there that are, doing great harm to the American people.
Well,
I think that's hard. I don't know if I'd blame it on the workers. I would think something of this scale would be a leak in some type of a sewage system.
Because you would have to.
Yeah.
Oh, you might be onto something.
Yeah,
you would have to do a lot of.
See,
what if
this guy's smarter than
well,
people
you're
think?
typical Republican. You always want to blame the worker when it's usually the people who are in charge that screw stuff up.
Yeah, I think a septic system. It also makes more sense because one person I don't think could go poo-poo enough.
There's not
to cause
for
that
thousands
problem.
of cases. Yeah.
But what if, since it is the chopped lettuce, what if it's like a pipe or a sewer system that's backing up into where they wash the lettuce?
It could be that.
You know how it says triple washed?
It may not
we
be.
Almost a commercial and a different
Taylor Farm.
topic. I hate this topic.
I think,
Really?
Michael,
Yes.
I'm glad we had you here for this, though, because I think you're right. I think it's the septic system.
I think we've exhausted the topic.
Well, Michael is a minimalist,
Yes.
which means he doesn't want any kind of filth at
No,
all.
I am
no
a clean
clutter,
freak.
no filth.
Yeah, and I purged my house of all my lettuce. Trust me, it's no longer there.
I know. I've been making lettuce-free salads because I eat a lot of raw
How do you make a
vegetables.
lettuce-free salad?
I love lettuce.
Help me out with that one.
Mediterranean, which is the
Lettuce is
cucumber,
highly
tomato, onion.
All right. By the way, I found a new restaurant in Chicago for you.
Okay, what's it called?
Abba.
Abba.
ABA.
I think I've heard of that.
It's awesome.
Well,
Don't go now, though, because their quality is bad.
yeah, it's apparently
Hazardous.
really bad up
Really
there.
bad.
They have
Some
one
of the worst in the world.
That's right. Yesterday, because of the Canada wildfires,
And Minnesota,
right?
too.
In Minnesota?
Yeah.
Michael, John, Amy, Chris. We are with you
That
for
was a
another half
poopy
hour
segment.
here on. Well, see, you just said it.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to put an end to it.
Now, we were talking a little Cardinals baseball.
Hey, now.
I have
earlier.
thoughts.
And we're going to come back to it because maybe you heard earlier in the week some Barstool folks took a big old poo on St. Louis and the Cardinals fan base. Well, there's been a response from a Cardinal great, and we will tell you about it when we come back on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Some shows are about sports. Some shows are about nothing. This one's kind of both.
So the show's not really a sports show per se, it's just a show. Glover here, we talk about whatever's happening, life, work, random stuff. And yeah, the Cardinals always find their way in. I'm a lifelong fan, love going to the games, love supporting the team, and love hanging out with you guys.
The Dave Glover Show at 1, and then Cardinals baseball. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
82 degrees, real feel temperature 97. Intervals of bright sunshine with widely separated thunderstorms today, a high of 91. Tonight, a thunderstorm in spots early, otherwise humid, and a low of 75.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
If you're having a major project done at your house, it can be a long process. It can be kind of tedious or frustrating, and hopefully, though, when it's all done, you can stand back and look and think, oh my gosh, this is an incredible improvement. Sometimes it doesn't work that way, though, if you choose the wrong company. That's why I'm telling you that if you're thinking about a major project in your outdoor space, even a minor project, call Chesterfield Fence and Deck, because Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. They only use the highest quality products. They have their own installation crews with years of experience. That is extremely important. And Chesterfield Fence and Deck has been around for 58 years, a quality company, and they offer value. They're not going to be your cheapest bid, but they're going to be the best, and it's going to last for years to come, so you can stand back and think, money well spent. They'll offer you 48 months interest-free financing if you mention me, Debbie Monterey. Stop by and visit them, or visit them online right now at ChesterfieldFence.com. Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
I think them calling themselves the best fans of baseball is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anybody that calls themselves the best fans of baseball, it's just a stupid thing to say ever. Fan delusion is a special thing because they were all repeating the same thing. We have a top 5 stadium in baseball. Right off the rip. Watch this. Wrigley, Fenway, Petco, PNC, the San Francisco Park. That's 5.
Yeah.
Now, those are the guys from Barstool. That was Brandon Walker. That's his name. He is a host of a few shows on Barstool Sports, and one of them is called the Mostly Sports Podcast, and I believe that's what that one was from.
Has an annoying voice, that guy.
Well, he's from Atlanta, so.
There you go.
He does not like the Cardinals fan base. It's not, look, he's not alone. There are a lot of people outside of this market don't really care for the Cardinals fan base.
Jealous.
They have been, the whole BFIB thing, I think, really grates on people. And I get why. I understand that. So.
But just to be clear, like we've said, the fans didn't self-proclaim BFIB. That was given to them by sports writers.
So you say that, and
Cardinals kind of play it up.
They don't. I'll tell you what, Cardinals fans and the team, they don't really distance themselves from it.
Right. baseball heavens on the when you walk into Busch Stadium.
Michael,
we play it up.
If someone told you, like, for years, you're so handsome,
well, keep going.
Wouldn't you eventually, would you distance yourself from it?
No, not at all.
You have a little humility, right?
I'm all for it.
Yeah. So Adam Wainwright, former Cardinal, and
Uncle Charlie.
Yeah, Uncle Charlie. He had this to say, posting on social media.
What's up? This is Adam Wainwright.
What's up?
I don't usually respond to videos about hating on the Cardinals and fans and these kinds of things because there's, if you're from a different fan base, you're never going to love another fandom or a team the same way you love your own team. So I get it. This guy's taking it a step too far. I mean, look, I know you run a show, it's Barstool. I know you guys got to create some story headlines and you love when there's drama and all that stuff. And you're going to come back and you're going to say oh, that's what I really believe. But it's kind of ridiculous. Let's just be real honest, where you just took that argument. Cardinals fans, for one thing, I played there for 18 years. Whatever you think in this Barstool world that you live in over there, Braves fans, I grew up a Braves fan too, man. But listen, and I can respect lots of different organizations. You guys don't know the fan base better than I do. I don't care what you say. So I'm speaking from a point of know-how, of experience. I played there for 18 years. I am still a huge fan of the organization. But I'm going to tell you something. The Cardinal fans are not walking around saying we're the best fans in baseball. Cardinals fans, they got that label because they are the best fans of baseball. I mean, I've played everywhere. They are. And I'll tell you this, as a player there, sometimes they're such good fans of the game of baseball. It's almost frustrating sometimes because they're cheering for the other team when they make great plays. They're cheering for the other team when they do something super fundamental. Most of the time, they're paying attention. They know the count. They know how many outs there are. If you go to most stadiums, not a knock on most stadiums, they're having a party. Cardinal fans are watching the game. Calm down on some of this, right? Relax on the stadium. Relax on the fan base. The fan base is amazing. Always treated us unbelievable. I was so blessed to play there for as long as I did. I respect you got a show. I know how that works, man. I know you got to create storylines, but take it easy, man. See ya.
So there you go. That's Adam Wainwright responding to Barstool and sticking up for the fan base. I would expect him to do it. He was here for almost 2 decades. So, of course, he's going to say good things about us and the fan base and the organization and the ballpark. And it is a nice ballpark. I would agree that it's probably, I don't know that I'd put it in a top 5, which maybe some Cardinals fans think it is, but because there are a lot of really great ballparks out there. But it is a very nice place to watch a game. There's no question about that.
It's a great ballpark, and when it's attended, it's a great atmosphere.
I think this whole thing's all faux. I pay attention to some Barstool, not a fan of this Brandon guy. But I think that he knows full well this stirs people up. And there's I hate on a fan base. I mean, come on. I'm so sick of hearing about the Yankees and the Dodgers all the time. And I think to a lot of teams, that's how they view the Cardinals. And there's lots of things about the Cardinals that could be irritating. Here we are in the middle of the country. We've always found a way to win. The Cardinals always seem to have a luck that many other teams don't. And I think this is just folks trying to get attention. I appreciate what Adam was up to with saying what he said about the Cardinals, and I think he genuinely believes it.
If the Cardinals hadn't been so successful for the past 20 years, I'm not even talking about the fact that they have more World Series championships than anyone other than the Yankees, not even going back history, but just say Mo had a very unsuccessful 20 years. Would this guy be having this conversation?
No. I think and the Brewers have become the new Cardinals in a lot of ways.
That's what we said, because I find them annoying now.
Well, maybe in the moment, but at the end of the day, I think part of the reason that there's this hatred for the Cardinals is because they have been a juggernaut for over 120-something years. And I think it's the collection of, here they come again, these guys out there in the middle of nowhere winning again.
Let me ask you this, Rons. Can you make the argument that Adam Wainwright is the second greatest pitcher in St. Louis Cardinal history.
So you're saying Gibson is one.
Right.
Forsch.
Tudor.
I mean, those guys are great. He probably is.
Yeah.
Chris Carpenter.
200 wins.
I mean, because you're talking about, again, 18 years, like you mentioned. That's a long time to be here. Forsch and Tudor weren't here for that long.
Close to that. Well, Forsch probably fairly close to that, but yeah. And Forche, I think, won 165 games. Wainwright won 200. Short spurt pitchers, you could make a case for Dizzy Dean. You could make a case maybe even for Steve Carlton while here. But net over the course of history, Mort Cooper. But you're probably looking at Adam Wainwright, I think, is the second greatest Cardinal pitcher.
Yeah, he probably is. And, I mean, he meant about as much as any player here in the last 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Yadier, Albert, obviously. I mean, we're talking about Ozzie. So, yeah, I mean, there have been some greats that have come through here, and he's right up there.
So going back to Brandon and Barstool and how much he hates St. Louis.
Yes.
So a couple things. One of my friends always says, like, if you're trying to make a point, maybe like with a hotel or an airline, maybe you need a refund, maybe something went wrong, you pick one reason and you stick with it. Another example would be the United States going after Iran. I think you could make an argument for going after Iran, but the administration gave 50 different reasons. And when you give 50 different reasons at different times, it starts to feel like you don't really have a reason at all, like you didn't have a clear-cut idea. That's kind of how I feel with this Brandon guy. You can hate the Cardinals and the Cardinal fan base, but he just kept giving reasons about, the best fans in baseball and Busch Stadium is terrible. And then when he said the Cardinals jerseys are boring, which is objectively just not true, I almost felt like, I don't think you have a point anymore. He gave too many reasons why he hates St. Louis and hates the Cardinals. That's how I feel. He should have stuck with one.
He could, I guess, if he's making the argument that the Cardinals uniform and the logo doesn't change ever.
Oh, well,
maybe that's what he's saying, but neither does the Yankees.
A texter also brought up the skyline. So he brought up the fans, Busch Stadium, the uniform, the skyline. Once you give too many reasons, you've lost
me. This is a Braves fan in Chicago. I mean, I think we're digging in a little too deep here.
I don't think Chicago has anything to do with it, because most of the Barstool people are not from there.
Right.
Because they were in New York. I think they actually still have offices in New York.
Couple of points here. To your too many points reason,
yeah,
you can make that same case about the Declaration of Independence.
What?
Because you got this series of he has clauses about the king.
Too many grievances.
Yes, and they were regional. Most of them were regional grievances.
27.
They weren't.
Listen, I love a good regional grievance.
Yeah, right. And so there was a lot of points. So yeah.
I think it makes your case stronger, honestly, unless you just have something silly.
You felt like the Trump administration and their Iran defenses. You think that made it stronger? The fact that everybody was giving a different reason.
Well, no, that's not. That's different. What that is, those are people who have no idea and they're not on the same page.
That's kind of how I felt like with this guy, though. I felt like he was just throwing out and the skyline, and they're ugly,
and
too.
And they only eat fried food, toaster raviolis, like boil that
In his
stuff.
defense, he's coming up with evidence, and he's like, here are my points of evidence why I don't like the fan base. I just think he's wrong on a few of them.
Do you all know the origin of the Cardinals logo? Anyone?
It comes back to Bing Devines.
Nobody.
In North County.
Yes, buddy.
The wife of
Branch Rickey.
Branch Rickey, that's what
who
it
at the
is.
time was the Cardinals general manager.
Yeah.
In the 1920s. He went to speak to the ladies club at the First Baptist Church in Ferguson. And he walked in, and one of the ladies of the women's club had made little centerpieces for the tables, and they had little cardinals that she had made in with the flowers. And Branch Rickey saw that, and it inspired him to create what we now know as the birds on the bat.
Is this true?
Yeah.
That's totally true. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the
I've
one
never
thing
heard
John
that.
said
Yeah,
today.
whenever he gives you that, let me tell you something. He actually knows what he's talking about here.
Every now and then, this man has a couple of nuggets. Like he had an earlier one.
And he knows a surprising amount about the Colonel from Kentucky Fried Chicken, Colonel Sanders.
Harlan Sanders, great American. This guy. Yeah.
Go on.
I can't remember.
No. John Hancock, Michael Kelly, just a bit longer with us on this Friday. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
He was not a colonel.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA, so we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Taking care of your health shouldn't feel complicated. That's why we created NeoVitan to make nutrition easy. Our doctor-formulated vitamins are designed for real life and delivered straight to your door with our monthly subscription. No guesswork, no running out. Just clean, high-quality supplements manufactured in the USA using the finest domestic and international ingredients. Subscribe today at neovitan.com and take one simple step toward better daily nutrition. Visit neovitan.com and start making nutrition easy today.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't 4 kill majority rule?
Yep, creates minority rule, where just 5% of statewide voters in one district can block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass citizen-led ballot measures.
That's just dumb.
And when the politicians refuse to act, we've used citizen-led ballot measures to pass some big stuff, like lobbyist reforms, term limits for career politicians, and outlawing tax hikes without voter approval.
I'm not surrendering my power and rights to a bunch of politicians and lobbyists. I'm no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Pay 4 buttons or inch, prepare governance.
Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the galleries showcase stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben Barnett with Timberline Tree Care. I'm really excited to announce another reason why we should be taking care of your trees. Timberline is now the only tree care provider anywhere to offer full-spectrum tree maintenance programs that are fully guaranteed. Here's how it works. You call Timberline and an ISA-certified arborist will meet you at your home. We will develop a plan that includes soil testing and amendment, fertilization, any necessary pesticide applications, and annual inspections by an ISA-certified arborist. But here's the best part. Maintenance pruning of your tree is included in this plan. And in the unlikely event that your tree dies while under our care, we will remove it for free. All you have to do is call us and sign up for the plan. We will take care of literally everything from there. There's no obligation, and you can cancel at any time. For tree care that is guaranteed, call Timberline Professional Tree Care at 636-479-7475 or find out more at stltreecare.com.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Gas House Gang is coming up at 12 o'clock. Claiborne, Paulie, me. We're going to have David Eckstein, World Series MVP David Eckstein, who was working as an usher at a Cardinals game over the weekend before the All-Star break, handing out his own bobblehead.
That's pretty funny.
So we'll talk to David today. That's at 12:30.
Two-time World Series winner, David Eckstein.
That's right, with the Angels.
Yep.
With the Cardinals. Then he was an MVP. World Series MVP.
John is getting ready to leave the studio as we speak.
One of the shorter professional athletes I've ever met in my life, David Eckstein.
Yeah, he is short.
Kind of like, you know who else is like incredibly short? You just can't believe it.
Spud Webb.
There's a good one. Rory McIlroy.
Oh, really?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, short.
What's it, like 5'5"?
Yeah, and hits that ball
really
further than, it's unbelievable. Today he drove a par 4 in the British Open.
It's hard. It's weird how you cannot tell at all on TV. And I feel like I've seen Rory McIlroy standing next to people, but I never would have guessed that he's 5'5".
Oh, I think he's a little more than 5'5". But, I mean, for world-class professional athlete, hits the ball 300 yards.
That's true.
I want to say he's 5'7", 5'8", somewhere in there. But that's very short for a professional athlete.
Like Messi.
Yeah. Now, that guy, I mean, he's just so freaking unbelievable, his abilities. I know that you hate on soccer, John, but if you watch that man play, you can just tell he's something special. He's a man amongst boys, even though he's the size of a boy.
Kicking that ball.
Okay, we have a texter that says, I could listen to John all day. Is there anything he doesn't know?
Well, it's really a function of being well read.
They wanted him to be in the home improvement hotline because who's the guy around here, Mosby, who knows an answer to everything?
Okay, now read that phone number to John and see if it's somebody in his family.
No, I can assure you,
there ain't no stranger saying that.
I can assure you, nobody in my family wants to listen to me all day.
We have Georgianne on the line. She's got a rebuttal.
She stopped listening years ago.
Another texter says, thank you for completing the parasite story as I ate my toast with hard-boiled egg and avocado.
You got to be careful out there.
Yeah.
That's we're trying to do a public service for the people. And we don't want you people to be victims of a parasite.
No, we definitely do
you
not.
can't help it, though.
Well,
sometimes you can't. You don't know where it's coming from.
Well, that reminds me of the definition of politics.
Got a parasite there.
Remember, politics, comes from the ancient Greek. Poly, of course, is many, and ticks are blood-sucking parasites.
What else you got today?
I'm about done.
He's all over.
we got a minute,
jokes.
So if you got anything else, you might as well get it out now.
No, I'm about done.
Are you guys going to snooker?
We are.
We're going to snooker for a little while today.
Haven't played in weeks and weeks and weeks, so it's going to be a little rusty. I'm going to wear my new glasses, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got snooker glasses?
I do.
Are they really for snooker?
Well, snooker and driving at night.
Okay. Well, yeah. You've got dinner club tonight?
We do.
You shouldn't be driving at night, period. Even with glasses. You should let somebody else do the driving.
Well, Georgianne drives.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I don't like driving at night.
Do you feel a bit emasculated when your wife is driving you around like that?
Mm. She gets car sick, or maybe just when I drive, she gets car sick. But so when we go places together, she drives.
Yeah.
I love it.
Nice.
Guys.
Got a full-time driver.
I know it.
Enjoy your snooking today.
Can't wait to get on the bays.
Enjoy the soccer this weekend, everybody. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome to come over Sunday if you want.
The third place game is tomorrow, and the final, the World Cup final is Sunday.
We'll do a little barbecuing if you want to come.
Third place
have a lot of
game.
people over. Invited Matthew.
Well, England doesn't want to play one, I guarantee you that. All right. Thanks, guys. We will continue the show.
All right. It's going to get better from here.
Well, you don't know that. I think it will be.
It probably won't. It's
Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
In a county full of slick politicians, one man never got the memo. Jake Zimmerman. He may not be cool, but as county assessor, Zimmerman delivered. Here's Jake.
I stopped casinos taking money from our schools and cracked down on wealthy developers dodging taxes.
The St. Louis American called his office a model of respectful competence, and the Post-Dispatch just endorsed Zimmerman in his campaign for county executive for his pledge to take the drama out of county government. As county executive, he'll make life more affordable and stand up to MAGA's attacks on our rights.
I'm not flashy, but I get results, and I've got your back.
Then there's Brian Williams. Williams voted with MAGA Republicans to open the door to extreme abortion bans, and now MAGA is bankrolling Williams with $150,000 in donations. Brian Williams and MAGA can't be trusted. Jake Zimmerman is on our side. Paid for by Citizens for Jake Zimmerman. Jeannie Kirkton, Treasurer.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 10 o'clock. We have sunshine and 83 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. In President Trump's Thursday night address to the nation, he claimed election interference in 2020 when he lost to Joe Biden, but showed no evidence of how votes were manipulated. KMOX political analysts Hancock and Kelly say the control swing between Democrats and Republicans in Congress goes against the concept of widespread election fraud.
If elections were fraudulent, you wouldn't have this back and forth swing like we've had over the last couple of decades.
Yeah, and there's so many holes to be poked into that argument.
Hancock predicts Democrats will win control of the U.S. House in November and Republicans will barely hold on to the Senate. Meanwhile, President Trump says the networks, ABC and NBC, that chose not to carry his speech last night should have their broadcast licenses revoked. After an abysmal May, U.S. housing starts picked up in June, but ABC's Jim Ryan says trouble may lie ahead for the industry.
Home builders have been reluctant to start new projects this year, knowing that home buyers are facing sky-high interest rates. Still, overall housing starts in June came in at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.42 million. That's 19% higher than in May. The same report from the Census Bureau hints at trouble ahead, though. Building permits last month fell by about 3% from the previous month.
The Missouri Highway Patrol says a 36-year-old Union man died Thursday in a crash north of his hometown. It happened on Route V east of Platte Road. Investigators determined the man overcorrected on a curve and his car ended up striking a tree. They also handled a fatal crash Thursday night in St. Louis County happened just after 9 on Lilac north of Chambers. Troopers say 32-year-old St. Louis man died from injuries suffered. Investigators found his car cross the center line to pass another car and was hit head on. The driver of the other vehicle, a 70-year-old St. Louis man, received treatment for lesser injuries. The 26th annual St. Louis Filmmakers Showcase kicks off tonight at the High Point Theater. Emmett Williams with Cinema St. Louis says nearly 70 films from local filmmakers will be shown between now and July 26th.
Our closing night film it's a new film called Gangland, and that stars Lou Diamond Phillips, and Lou Diamond Phillips will be in attendance.
Williams says the St. Louis film community is strong and making movies in every genre. The festival opens tonight with Chasing Summer by award-winning director Josephine Decker, starring comedian Eliza Schlesinger. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, it is going to just be hot and humid the next couple of days. The weather sponsored by Steve Butts and the entire Crawford Butts family. Clouds and sun today with a high of 90. It's going to be very humid with a thunderstorm in spots this afternoon and this evening. No storms in the forecast tomorrow, just hot, humid, sun and clouds and a high of 92. Currently, it's 83 with sunshine. As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, Steve Butts and everyone at Crawford Butts Insurance wishes everyone a safe and joyful summer, proudly serving the community for generations. Happy 250th, America. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Today,
the Cards, the D-backs.
Ameren Total Access 745. First pitch 840.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You've probably seen the headlines about Missouri being in a demographic winter and how the city of St. Louis County losing population. But amidst all of that, immigrants have been a bright spot. In fact, according to the Mosaic Project, St. Louis has more than 11,000 immigrant entrepreneurs, which is very, very cool. However, some new and recent restrictions on immigration might have an impact on immigrant productivity in the U.S., especially in St. Louis. And so joining us now to talk more about this topic is Gabrielle Lindemann. She's a writer for St. Louis Magazine, has a piece on this topic about the immigrant entrepreneurs in St. Louis and how they might be impacted, or future immigrants might be impacted by these restrictions. Gabrielle, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk about this morning.
Yeah, let us know what you found out about the immigrant community in St. Louis, specifically the entrepreneurs. 11,000, that is not a small number.
It's really not, especially when the total number of immigrants in St. Louis as a whole is just over 150,000. So that's a really great percentage of people that are entrepreneurs. The story that I wrote talks about why immigrant entrepreneurs are so important and how the current restrictions on immigration are going to negatively impact productivity growth over the next couple of years here that we saw. So I spoke with a couple different people for the piece. Ben Molina at Cortex, who's the entrepreneurship director, and he directly works with those immigrant entrepreneurs and provides resources and classes and anything they might need to help get, off the ground there with their businesses. And I spoke with the Mosaic Project, like you just mentioned before, and how they work to help create a more welcoming environment for immigrants in St. Louis. So I was really excited to write the piece. It was centered around a study posted by the Yale Budget Lab that explains that over the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, we're going to really feel these impacts from the current administration's policies.
And that lab found that an immigrant that comes here is 80% more likely to want to start a business than somebody who is naturally born in this country. And is that pretty much across the board, or are we finding that is a similar number to what we're seeing in the St. Louis area? Is this a nationwide thing? How do you see it, or what do the numbers tell you?
Yeah, so the study posted that you're correct, 80% more likely. And I think that was kind of across the board for them. But in tandem, I think we're seeing that nationwide, especially in St. Louis. that if those people aren't coming here and they're not starting those businesses, they're not directly contributing to the economy, but then also they're not having kids here. And in also response, immigrant children are also more likely to start businesses or to even take over their parents' businesses. And so we're not going to see that next generation of people start businesses as well.
Yeah, the numbers are staggering on how much of a benefit it is to a city to have these immigrant entrepreneurs. So looking ahead, what could St. Louis see if maybe immigrants are saying, we're not going to make this jump, this new restriction, either, we can't or we're afraid to?
Yeah, definitely. I spoke with powerhouse demographer Ness Sandoval for this piece, and he explained that the Midwest, but Missouri as a state, has not always had the most welcoming rhetoric when it comes to immigration. And so without that, those people don't want to come here and they don't want to start these businesses here. The St. Louis Mosaic Project, which was founded after a report in 2012 that said St. Louis was really lagging in immigration, has worked really, really hard over the past decade to kind of turn that rhetoric around in St. Louis. And I think they've done a really great job at making it a more welcoming place. But you're right, without, with the current restrictions making it harder for them to come here, people aren't going to come here and they're not starting those businesses. And so like the Budget Lab said, we're not going to have those direct beneficial impacts to the economy for the St. Louis region. Ness Sandoval explained that last year we already saw a downtick in immigration, and he foresees that being a continuous thing over the next couple of years.
We are talking to Gabrielle Lindemann, writer for St. Louis Magazine here on KMOX. And we've got a lot of immigrant first neighborhoods here in St. Louis. Our most famous one is the Hill, obviously, which has been here for generations. Also near Bevo. I mean, we've got a lot here to celebrate, I think. What are some other businesses or some good examples of immigrant-run businesses that maybe we're not really aware of so much?
Yeah, absolutely. I start off the piece talking with Julietta, who she is a freshly moved here St. Louis girl. She's been in St. Louis for just over a month and a half now, I think, since I've spoke to her. And she brought her expertise from Argentina, and she founded a company called NanoJump Bio. And she's revolutionizing the DNA sequencing industry. So her device allows people to extract DNA and sequence it on the spot. So you don't have to go through the long process of transporting it to a lab, and going through the entire process and interpreting the numbers. It happens instantly. So even non-professionals can do it. And so that's just one example of someone who has come here. She's an Arch Grant recipient, and she is really working hard for the growth of her company and for her future here. And she's bringing knowledge that we wouldn't have had if she didn't come here, right? So this is a brand new product. It's a brand new entire theory, and she's got a patent for it and everything. But without her coming here from Argentina, we would have never had it. And so I think that's just one example of why immigrant businesses are so important, because they bring new ideas and new information. Especially in the St. Louis region, the immigrants who are coming here are highly skilled. They're highly educated. They have a background in wanting to be entrepreneurial.
How did Julietta land in St. Louis if she's coming from Argentina? And like you said, we don't necessarily maybe have the great narrative surrounding our city being welcoming to immigrants.
Yeah, definitely. So I think the Arch Grant is a big reason why she's in St. Louis now. They're helping her get her business kind of up and going and continuing. I know that she was working with a company with a subsidiary in Delaware, and that's kind of how she got into the U.S. kind of business scheme. And then she's been applying for grants, and the Arch Grant was one that she applied for. And so I think her receiving that, she said her first time in the U.S. was at the Arch Grant Gala, and she was just absolutely blown away by St. Louis. And so that's why she decided to come here and to kind of get going. So she hasn't been here for very long, but when I spoke with her, she spoke about how St. Louis has opened so many doors for her and just really been a really welcoming place. So we're doing something right.
Yeah. And are we, in addition to Arch Grants, Are we doing anything to get the word out that, hey, St. Louis is a great place to come to if you're a new immigrant arriving at the U.S. and you want to open a business or start a company? Come to the Midwest. Are we doing anything to bring people in or to at least change that narrative?
Yeah, definitely. I think the St. Louis Mosaic Project, they have been working so hard to change that rhetoric over the past 10 years. And companies like Cortex, who are, directly involved with helping immigrant entrepreneurs. It's organizations like those in St. Louis. And those are just the two that I spoke with for the piece. But there are so many more in our area that are working really hard. Because, over the next 10, 20 years, our population growth has to come 100% from immigrants. I think the Congressional Budget Office posted a report back in January that said by 2030, more people are going to pass away than babies are going to be born. So 100% of our population growth is going to have to come from immigrants. And so in return, we have to create a welcoming environment for people to want to come here. So I definitely still think it's a work in progress, but I think it's something that we're moving forward towards.
As we've talked about, St. Louis has a population problem where we are losing it. It's not staying in the area the way it once was. I mean, even if you move out west, people aren't necessarily staying in the St. Louis area for multiple reasons. What happens if we don't embrace immigrants here? Or is it the kind of thing where, maybe it wouldn't make that big of a difference if we don't start to want to attract people to come here and stay?
No, I think we will definitely feel it. They make a huge difference. So like I said, there's just over 150,000 immigrants in the St. Louis area, but collectively that income is $5.9 billion and it's $1.6 trillion in taxes that these immigrants pay. So that is a huge number and would be a huge hit to the economy if they don't feel safe and they want to move away, or if we don't continue to increase that number. I think St. Louis is a little lacking in comparison to our peer cities when it comes to immigrant growth. And so if we don't really embrace these people, those are big numbers that we could lose. And if we're not having native-born American population growth, then that growth has to come from somewhere.
I know this really wasn't the focus of your piece, so you might not have this information handy, but when you look at our immigrant communities, obviously St. Louis has the largest Bosnian community outside of Bosnia. And so, so everything that the Bosnian immigrants have brought, and we may have immigrants say from India or the Middle East, but maybe comparatively speaking, fewer immigrants from Latin America, fewer immigrants from Mexico. Do we know where the immigrants who are coming to St. Louis primarily tend to come from?
That's not something that I spoke with Ness Sandoval about a lot, but he did give me some context. You're right. We do have a really large Bosnian population. I think we also have an interesting number of African population as well. That's something that I spoke about with Suzanne Sierra with the Mosaic Project. And you're correct. We don't have a large Latin American population coming from South America, but I think we have a lot of people from Asia. So I just recently graduated from Webster University, and I know personally a lot of the international students were from India, were from Nepal. And so I think we're seeing a large number of people kind of coming from there as well. So that's, I don't have hard numbers for you for that, but that's just something that I've witnessed with my own two eyes.
And so as we talk about attracting immigrants to St. Louis and hoping they start businesses or, establish themselves in one way or another, are we seeing, what are the effects so far, long-term effects that might happen here? Because according to your piece, it is a thing where even a temporary hold on immigration or a temporary block of it or curtailing of it can have long-lasting effects. So when we talk about the long-lasting effects, what does that mean and for how long are we talking?
Absolutely. So in the Budget Lab report, they talk about how for the next couple years that this administration is still in office, we're not going to see the effects. And I think that speaks to the resilience of the immigrants, especially the ones in St. Louis. The people that I've spoken with in the past, they are so resilient and passionate and strong-willed and, willing to succeed. But if we don't have individuals like that coming to the United States in the next 3 years here, those people who, might take a couple years to get acclimated, to get established, they're not starting businesses within the next 10 years, right? So then it takes however many years to get off the ground in a business, and then their success isn't directly contributing to the economy. And maybe if they were to be successful in 10 years and then they had 2 kids, and those 2 kids, one started a business and one took over the family business, those 2 kids aren't contributing to the economy. So the Budget Lab report said we're going to feel the effects of this really steeply up until at least 2050. And it's crazy how such a short-term, restriction can really be such a long-lasting impact.
Gabrielle Lindemann, writer for St. Louis Magazine. We encourage going to STL Mag and reading this story. It's incredibly interesting, and it's something that Amy and I have talked about quite a bit. So we do appreciate you being on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys.
It's Gabrielle Lindemann with St. Louis Magazine, and we do talk to somebody from STL Mag pretty much every Friday here on 104.1 FM KMOX. We'll talk city soccer with Jen C. She'll be with us just after 10:30. We'll have a conversation with Major Garrett. Man, do we have a lot for you coming up on the show today on 104.1 FM KMOX.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck taxed, your property taxed, everything you buy taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
This year, America celebrates 250 years. 2.5 centuries of courage, sacrifice, and family stories passed down from one generation to the next. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger, founders of Legacy Box. Your family's piece of the American story is sitting in an attic or closet right now, trapped on aging VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and fading photos.
Those boxes hold moments you can never recreate. Your wedding day, your children's voices when they were little, grandparents coming back to life on screen.
Over 2 million families have trusted Legacy Box. And we've just partnered with the USO to digitize fragile handwritten letters from World War II, helping preserve American history for future generations.
As America turns 250, remember that your family is a part of the American story. Preserving those voices, faces, and moments is a part of your responsibility to the next generation. Don't let them disappear on your watch.
Visit legacybox.com/radio for our amazing America 250 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to save.
We often hear the words retirement and annuity used in the same sentence, but it's important to know that not all annuities are the same. If you're not sure, it may be time for an annuity x-ray. Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group can review your annuity. Call Steve at 636-230-8824 and at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Charlie Brennan here with a happy 35th anniversary to John and Cindy Morelli, who started Morelli Tuck Pointing in 1991. They were later joined by their daughter Deanna and her husband Julian. As of today, the Morellis have won every award possible for the tuck pointing industry. The BBB Torch Award, the Next Door Neighbor Fave Award, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. When you're out in the yard or on your patio, take a look over your brick, stone, and mortar joints on your walls, chimney, walkways, and retaining walls. If they need repair, Morelli would love to help. It's a good idea to do that home maintenance before leaks are created or rebuilding is necessary. We've used Morelli Tuck Pointing to work on 2 homes and have found Morelli's bids to be fair, their work is excellent, and they clean up after themselves. 314-645-1387 and MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight discussing sarcomas with Dr. Angela Herbie.
In small groups of patients, there is an inherited genetic risk, but this is the vast minority of patients. And we typically identify these groups of individuals because of numerous family members having these rare cancers, and many of them being young. When I say young, anybody under the age of 40.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Hey, St. Louis, need to sell your home fast? The Gelman team with eXp Realty can make you an instant cash offer in just 24 hours. No showings, no repairs, no waiting. Visit thegelmanteam.com or give them a call at 314-336-1991.
Still here, still trusted. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
I don't think I live under a rock, especially
You know you do?
I don't think I do. Rude.
No.
Because in this job, I got to pay attention to a lot of stuff that I do not want to pay attention to at all. And I kind of wish I could live under a bit more of a rock. But man, I totally missed the air quality yesterday in Chicago, in Ohio, in Michigan, until one of my friends posted a picture on Instagram. And she said, just trying to stay alive in Chicago. And the glow of the air, and she was, downtown, was like kind of orange, and it was very hazy, and they had masks on, and everyone behind them had masks on. I thought, what in the world is going on in Chicago? Well, all of the Canadian and Minnesota wildfires, the smoke settled on large swaths of the Midwest. And I'm just going to give numbers here for perspective, because otherwise maybe the numbers don't mean anything. But I downloaded an air quality app on my phone because when I was in Colorado, the whole state caught on fire. And the air quality got really bad to the point where I finished one of my hikes. I smelled like a bonfire, and I was coughing. Like, I had that smoker's cough. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this is bad. And so just talking to some locals, they said, yeah, it's actually really bad for you. So let's say the number where I was, I tried to avoid the smoke, and I could keep the number between 60 and 90. But you really don't want to run hard outside when it's 90. On the worst day that I was in Summit County, when you couldn't really see the mountains because the air was so filled with ash, and in fact, some ash was blowing in through the windows. The number was 150.
Yeah.
So for yesterday, Chicago was 650.
It's ridiculous.
Toledo,
That's
Ohio
ridiculous.
was 800. And for the record, when you get over 500, the meter kind of breaks. Like, it doesn't really count anymore, I guess. And when you're over 500, it's hazardous. It could be fatal. I mean, it's really, really bad.
Right.
Chicago was over. I've never even heard of over 600. And one of my good running buddies is from India, and he'll send me the air quality sometimes because it's not great to run in Delhi a lot of times.
I love that that's your thing, or his thing to you. It's like, hey, look at the air quality where I'm from.
Well, because you know how in St. Louis we complain about the humidity?
Right.
He's like, try running in Delhi. And so when he goes home, 8 times a year. He's home all the time. And he'll send me the air quality and say, well, I tried to run today, or 1 hour outside is the equivalent to smoking 2 packs of cigarettes. Like, that's how bad it is.
Oh.
Chicago, Ranj. And so then I texted you because did any of your friends say anything about how dangerous it was?
I had multiple friends, well, not saying it to me, but I had multiple friends who were posting on socials and taking photos and videos of walking downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like dusk, and it was not.
Yeah.
I feel like that has happened. It didn't happen there when I lived there that I can recall, but we've had it here, not to that extent. Because we're not as close to where these wildfires are coming from, but we've had it here. I remember last year we had it once or twice where we were driving into work and you could barely see the arch because of the smog that was coming from these wildfires.
Well,
that's not good for you.
No, it's not. And I think the mayor of Chicago said, hey, stay inside. It's only a couple days. We're going to be fine. They canceled the MLS game, right? That was in Chicago. And, hopefully it blows over quickly and people are smart, but it's really bad to bring in these particles. And one of the mayors of a county, and again, this was Illinois, Ohio, the national news has been interviewing different mayors or different, city, county leaders. At any rate, one of the mayors said, you walk outside and it smells like someone is starting a bonfire right next to you.
Yeah.
Like right next to you.
That's just so bad. That is so bad.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. And but anyway, a friend of mine is going to Michigan for their vacation, and he said that you can see about 10 yards ahead of you on the beach currently, but they're hoping that the smoke blows over in the next couple of days so their entire vacation isn't ruined.
Well, what I do know is this seems to be happening a whole lot more than it used to. Do you ever remember growing up worrying about wildfire smoke in St. Louis from Canada or from another part of the country?
The only reason I remember it is when I was younger, I would always say like how I loved the beautiful sunsets.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandpa would say, okay, well, the reason why the sunset's so beautiful is, that's smoke from these wildfires and so forth.
That happened regularly?
Like I said, I don't have, maybe it's a memory I have. I don't remember as much because as a kid, I don't think you care. You're like, oh, okay. But I do know that as like my friends who lived in Colorado live there, as it's getting warmer, they don't have AC, you want to open your windows. But not only is it consistently getting warmer year after year, you're having wildfires and it's drier. And so if a power line goes down or even a lightning strike, which causes a lot of wildfires, you can't open your windows at night because you'll wake up coughing. With a smoker's cough because you've been breathing in smoke all night. So I do know that, yes, it's getting warmer and there tend to be more wildfires. And so people are having to change habits or even build homes. I mean, I hate to say it, but up in the mountains, build homes with AC just because you can't sleep with the windows open.
I'd like to have a smoker's cough.
I don't radio people.
I'd like to
don't
have
they smoke so that they have a sexy voice?
Well, that used to be a thing. Nobody cares anymore about that.
You don't think so?
No. That was a thing. Well, because very few people went into the business. And so the feeling was, well, if we're going to have only so many people in this, they might as well sound pleasant. Instead of having somebody that sounds like this, right?
Hey, that's rude.
I don't mean you.
I don't try to sound like that.
I'm not talking about you specifically.
Because you have I've told you this, you have a great radio
voice. Nobody cares.
And a great radio laugh. People care.
Nah, nobody cares.
They don't care.
314-436-7900 if you care.
Look at all the podcasts out there with people who sound like rats. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. When we come back, we're going to talk to Gen C, City SC broadcaster. City started their season or resumed their season with a win last night, and the World Cup final is this weekend. We'll talk to Jen in a moment on KMOX.
The thing that you need in the morning, when you first wake up.
Total Information AM.
I like to be informed with the news and like to know, like in the mornings, I like to know what's going on.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
It's always smart to know what's going on.
Your morning news and information.
The national and local news.
Weather.
Sports.
I like the traffic reports.
Total Information AM.
I listen to it in the mornings, so it really gets me going.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from Big Wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250. Say Mike Rowe and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250. Say Mike Rowe and let the savings begin.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
85 degrees, real feel temperature 102. A high of 91 today. Bright sunshine. Otherwise, thunderstorms just widely separated. Same thing this evening. Humid, a low of 76. Weather sponsored by Ricken Financial.
Join Jerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost for Kickin' with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement, every Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on KMOX. And get more, including the Kickin' with the Rickens podcast, when you visit RickenFinancial.com.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
For state senate, I like Mike. Mike Deering knows what a hard day's work looks like because he's done it his whole life.
I like Mike. He's a dad. He knows what our families are up against.
Mike Deering's a businessman. He knows what red tape actually costs.
I like Mike because Mike Deering stands with President Trump. Secure the border, cut our taxes, put Missouri first.
I'm Mike Deering. Career politicians spend more and tax more while your family gets squeezed. I'll lower your taxes, keep your money in your pockets, and cut government waste so deep it'll make the politicians squeal.
Mike Deering, farmer, small business owner, dad, conservative. I like Mike.
I like Mike.
I like Mike. For state senate, I like Mike. Mike Deering. On Tuesday, August 4th, vote Republican Mike Deering for state senate. Make common sense conservative leadership common again. Paid for by friends of Mike Deering. Megan Kaiser, treasurer.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Move in, sends it forward on the ground. Betcher, a little 3-on-2 if we can get it. This time Betcher finds Hartle. Left side of the 18. Hartle shoots and scores! Yeah, baby! Right foot blisters it by Cleveland. And it's 2 for City in the first half.
City SC ends up winning that contest last night. Their first one in about a month and a half because of the World Cup break. But City is back, baby, and they've got to win. They're just a few points out of a playoff spot right now with plenty of games left to go. So let's see what happens here. Time to go to the Quiver River Electric guest line. City SC broadcaster on Y98. We actually had the game on KMOX last night as well. Jen Cease is with us. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning. Yeah, that was great to have that simulcast. Right before the game, we had a great Sports Open line that we did from the Energizer Park in the booth with Brad Davis, Ty Keogh, and Bill McDermott to, fix all things we need to fix in World Cup soccer, and then got to go right into the City game. So it was a great team.
We'll get to that World Cup in a minute.
Yeah, but well, Jen might not know that. So first of all, a few weeks ago, a war started between the Garden Hotline and our show and Michelle Reeser West. And I hate to say that you have thrown yourself into the conflict because I was listening to the Dave Glover show And, Andrew said that they would be talking to Jen Cease, and I praised Jen Cease. I talked about how great she was, how knowledgeable she was, how great she sounds on the radio, like she's got a voice that carries it. I think you were the first female to host the full 2 hours of Sports Open Line.
This is not good.
Jen shows up to the Glover show in the flesh and says, I hope Chris and Amy aren't listening because I'm in the studio.
One time. I also came in for your show one time. It was great. Remember?
Well, that's the end of that. This invitation. The invitation is revoked.
So I texted Dave that I was PO'd. PO'd. But anyway.
I do think Amy needs to mind her business, don't you?
Yeah. It was, I will say, when you do a segment or two, by the time you get ready, Amy, you know the business. My arm hurts from blow drying my hair. I don't do it very often. I'm in a baseball cap today. By the time you go through all the effort and then you get done, you're like, that was a lot for 8 minutes of talking.
Speaking of talking.
It's true.
Speaking of talking, Jen, I understand that you were not happy listening to Hancock and Kelly give their soccer thoughts.
They're just
just abysmal soccer thoughts.
Yeah. Why don't we? So here's some more good ideas. Let's make, if you score 2 goals, you get 2 points for that goal. If you score 3 goals, you get 3 points for your third goal. That would make a hat trick really count, right?
Yeah. There you go.
No, Amy, no.
Sorry. I was trying to be supportive.
No, we as Americans, we already we don't use the metric system, right? We'll create our own system. We will use our own way to measure temperature. Can we just leave the beautiful game alone?
Well,
look, the greatest point, and I brought this up, and I forgot who I heard say this, but people talk like there isn't a whole lot of scoring in soccer, but then they'll say, hey, this NFL game was 21-14, but yeah, there were 5 scores, just like in the game last night. There were 5 scores.
Thank you.
We just
don't make every goal worth 20,000 points.
That's right. We can make it a really high scoring game if we just say, hey, every goal is worth 50 points. And then
That's right. And every time you roll around and you hold your ankle, you get -2 points. That's right. What would happen. I would have to put that in there for the men's side of the game.
It is a psychological phenomenon because there was something like that with the quarter pounder where they actually made a bigger hamburger, but people thought the quarter pounder sounded heavier, so they were ordering the quarter pounder even though it was the smaller hamburger. And now I can't remember what it is. I think that's kind of what it is psychologically.
The word pound is in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So Jen, they started the season with a win last night, and I know they were playing well going into the break, and they had a bad start to the year. And as I mentioned, they're just a few points out of a playoff spot now. So what do you think we can expect from them as this second half starts?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you look at the game, Yohan DeMay afterward talked about it. It lacked consistency. It lacked quality. Even though we got goals and we were able to close the game. Edward Leuven, thank you, Edward Leuven, for not doing the stutter step and penalty kicks. I hate that so much. Just put that right away. Got to win the game. It was great. It wasn't the prettiest game we've seen from City. It's not exactly yet what the guys or Yohan DeMay wants. Can I just also say, too, that even though the temperatures did not seem to reach over 100, the humidity last night, I could have sliced through it with a knife.
Oh, it was so bad.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
So all credit to the guys. They sometimes you got to do it dirty. Sometimes you just got to win, and it's not pretty. It wasn't the prettiest way to play. But I think from Yohan DeMay, we know that a lot more is coming. They've worked on their intentional press, and that's what I'm going to kind of refer to it. It's not the chaotic press of the first year. It's not the no press under Olaf Melberg years, but there is a press, but we do it with intention. And if it's not there, we don't force it. So I think we're going to have that. Now, the most interesting part was having Diego Gigliani be our halftime guest, talk a little bit about the World Cup. Diego was born in Argentina, raised in Spain. His wife, I believe, also is from Spain. So he's got, kind of divided, I think, heart when it comes over the World Cup right now. But he teased us a little bit at the end of that halftime interview and talked about the fact that we have not heard the last yet of City signing. So hopefully there's a few more people coming into the lineup to liven things up.
Yeah, hopefully they can get some reinforcements because there are a lot of games left. I mean, this season is not even close to being
60%.
over. 60%. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not even halfway.
That's right. And so and before we get to the World Cup, which I will ask you about, what do we know about Roman Bürki, who did not play last night? And he had an injury he suffered back in May. Is he still dealing with that?
So I know about as much as anybody else knows from Yoann Damet talking last night. So yeah, from what we understand is that Roman Bürki's injury, I think it's the same one. I don't believe it's anything new. Just has not been allowing him to be at the fitness level he wants to. So I'm guessing he can't work out the way he wants to. He can't do the goalkeeper reps like he wants to. And then you, of course, have to return from the break as well. And during that time, Roman also had, a pretty big life change. He got married. Congratulations, Roman. So a lot of life changes. But I think if Roman's not 100%, Roman doesn't want to step on the pitch and mess it up for the team. So that's the way I understand it. I don't understand it to be anything very serious, more like this is a nagging thing that's bothered him, and it's also hindered his ability to stay fit during it. If you've got this injury and it's part of your upper body as a goalkeeper, you're not going to get some of the reps in that you need to do. So as far as I understand it, that is the end of the story, is what I know.
Well, Jen, switching back to World Cup, let's start with the final, which takes place on Sunday with Spain and Argentina. And Spain is favored against Messi and Argentina. Do you agree with that, or what are your thoughts going into that final?
Well, it's a great final to have when it comes to, you got number 1 and number 2 team playing each other. That's what you should see in the World Cup. I'm still sad to see Norway go.
Yeah.
I wasn't too sad to see England go. Sorry, England. But and France, I really thought might make it that way. But Spain has been tough. I think they've only conceded 1 goal. So they've got a stellar defense, and they have figured out how to approach each opponent. And they have the young stylings of Lamine Yamal. And so some people are calling this game the passing of the torch, if you will. I don't think we should count Lionel Messi out just yet. There's nothing that you should, if you want to guarantee success for Argentina, tell Messi that he can't do it. Because that's basically what happened. Messi now has twice helped that team dig out of what would have been the end of their run. They did it against their most recent game against England. They did fantastic. They dug in, they created, and England just sat back and let them do it. So the worst thing you can do is to challenge Lionel Messi. At the same time, he's in his waiting years, and Lamine Yamal is in his younger years, and he is quite something. I do believe, if I saw something correctly out there, there's an old promotional commercial or something where Lionel Messi is actually in that, and Lamine Yamal is like a baby, maybe a toddler in it. So you're seeing old soccer say hello to new soccer. I wouldn't count on Argentina. As good as Spain is right now, I would not count them out.
And so as for this third place game, I always wonder, how into a third place game can these guys really get? And then now it's England and France, who are going to play tomorrow afternoon. So that's your consolation game. I mean, do they care?
Nobody likes a consolation game. However, you don't want to be last in the consolation game. And you got to think, too, these are world heavyweights. I think I've been watching something on Netflix, a documentary about the American Revolution. And I think I'm at the part where England and France are both, the U.S. is getting aid from both sides in certain respects, because they've always been, enemies, if you will, arch nemesis, if you will. So they have always been on that side of the equation, whether it's been through politics, whether it's been through world conquest or the beautiful game. So I think that is going to be an intense game just for the pride of it and just for bragging rights.
You mentioned that you're not terribly sad that England lost.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering some of the reasons for it, because I kind of feel the same way too. I was rooting for Argentina, but England, I believe they haven't been in the final in 60 years, right? And knowing how important the game is, or
yeah, I don't have any specific. I don't have a grudge against England. I think but it's funny too, as I gauge a lot by I've talked about him before. My third born is a Lionel Messi diehard fan, but he was actually rooting for England in that game, and I said, "Why are you doing that?" And he's like, "Well, it's just Messi's had it a lot." I'm like, "Are you sure?" Because I think England really wants this pretty bad. And Harry Kane, who I know that they always talk about as their national treasure, and he's an amazing player. But yeah, for me, I just have been more inspired by the way Argentina plays, the way Spain plays, and I just wanted to see some beautiful soccer for the final. And we're definitely going to get some. The reason why it's called the beautiful game is what we should see on Sunday.
And I know the hope was that the United States in the World Cup would help grow the game by gaining interest by playing well, and they did in the group stage, and then they won their first knockout, and then we know what happened. In the end here against Belgium, did the net benefit? Did they do themselves more good or more harm by the way they played leading up to the Belgium game and then the Belgium game itself?
Well, I think we got this at the round table last night with Brad Davis, Ty Keogh, and Bill McDermott. They are better. The U.S. men's national team is better. They keep improving every time. And, I'm on old people Facebook. That's what my kids tell me. That's social media for us old people. And I got a funny little reminder yesterday. It came from the 2018 that when the U.S. didn't qualify, and it was bringing up all the same issues that we're talking about now, whether it's the youth system, whether it's pay to play, whether it's where most elite athletes go. They're the same issues coming up, but during this whole time, the men's team has gotten better. We've got players that are going overseas to play, players that are choosing to play for the United States when they have the ability to play for multiple countries, like Folarin Balogun. So I think that they are getting better. I think that the Belgium game just kind of left us with a bad taste in our mouth, but everything they did on the run up until then was promising. And I think if they keep building on that with Mauricio Pochettino, if he's allowed to stay, and I think he should be able to. I think he needs a full World Cup cycle. I agree with Taylor Twellman. I think he can do good things with this team.
But in terms of interest, trying to, what do you think they did?
I think soccer is increased by leaps and bounds. And so I think every time you have the ability to host the planet's largest celebration, the largest sporting event, leaves an indelible mark on your country, whether it's in your hometown. Even in St. Louis, we didn't have any World Cup festivities specifically, but we had a lot of events around there that grew our city in revenue, community, soccer interest. So I think overall it's a net positive for the U.S. men's national team and the United States, and to keep trying to solve the issues that we've been talking about for over a decade.
Thanks, Jen. We love talking
Thanks, guys.
to you. We'll do it on Friday next week.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks, Jen.
Jen Cease, City SC broadcaster on Y98. Last night, the game on KMOX. The next contest will be Wednesday. That is in Los Angeles against the Galaxy. It's a 9:30 game, so it'll be very, very late. You'll have to stay up for that. Chris and Amy on KMOX. Did you see this? Next.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
The radical left let crime and drugs pour into our nation, and they let biological men into girls' sports. But here in Missouri, if there's a problem, we fix it. That's why Ann Wagner's fixing the mess the radical left made and delivering for us. Wagner voted to ban biological men from competing in girls' sports. And she voted to fund the police and provide more resources for Border Patrol agents, keeping our families, communities, and children safe. And Ann Wagner didn't stop there. In Congress, Wagner passed the largest working-class tax cut in American history, kept big government out of our business, protected our way of life, and ensured our communities remain safe. That's why Ann Wagner's endorsed by the Missouri Farm Bureau and Missouri Fraternal Order of Police. Vote Ann Wagner for Congress on August 4th.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal too, right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid.
Nice.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends August 3rd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined, and the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Okay, Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway is asking the court to remove a prosecutor from Ray County, Camille Johnston, accusing her of a pattern of misconduct, unbecoming to a prosecutor. Would you like to hear some of the things that Camille Johnson has done? So remember, she's a prosecutor. She had an intimate relationship with a criminal defense attorney whose clients had cases handled by her office. She also had an intimate relationship with a prospective defendant and fired an employee after the relationship was discovered. She also had an intimate relationship with an undocumented immigrant who was being prosecuted for sexual assault in her county, and she transferred the title of her car to that person to help him flee.
So where is this again? Where is she from?
Apparently, it's north of Kansas City, I believe.
North of Kansas City. Well, if you know anything about Missouri, it's just very difficult to find singles. So you got to get it where you got to get it. That's just the bottom line here.
She also verbally berated her staff and created a culture of fear and intimidation. But she was having relationships with everybody. Equal opportunity, though, whether you were the lawyer, whether you were the defendant, whether you were a citizen, whether you're not citizen, she didn't care. Love is love. Is that what they say?
Yep. Something like that.
Yeah, she just loved everybody.
So we did just talk about the World Cup a little bit with Jen Cease, and Leo Messi is playing in the final again. And people have been arguing that Argentina, because they've gotten the benefit of some officiating, he is not happy with the fact people are saying Argentina only got to the final because the refs helped them out. And he said, nothing was handed to us. We've been the best over these past 4 years. Either you like it or not. And no matter what anyone says. So, you know what that means? Hat trick. Hat trick for Messi on Sunday. He's going to go, as they call it, ham. He's going to go ham. Also, quickly, did you see that Odyssey, which had its
Odyssey?
Odyssey, the Odyssey?
Odyssey.
The Odyssey with Christopher Nolan's movie?
Yeah.
Which is officially opening today. It had its preview Thursday, made $15 million in a preview Thursday. Oppenheimer made 10. So what that means is it is very likely going to do very, very well once it opens this weekend. We're going to be talking about a huge weekend for the Odyssey. Our guy Matt's going to go see it tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Report back to us. Let us know.
I will.
When we come back, we will talk to Major Garrett on a Friday. How about that? On 104.1 FM KMOX.
If you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Mr. Rob Miller from Harvesttown Auto Body in St. Peter's did. He called Rhino Shield. Rob, what was the thought process for going with Rhino Shield as a business owner?
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted.
Rob, tell everyone how the experience was with Rhino Shield from start to finish.
The process that I liked was when you came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. Our building was really faded. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
Are your neighbors jealous?
I would be if I was them.
Thanks, Rob. Now it's time to call 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Genius.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
On your to-do list, now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't 4 kill majority rule?
Yep, creates minority rule, where just 5% of statewide voters in one district can block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass citizen-led ballot measures.
That's just dumb.
And when the politicians refuse to act, we've used citizen-led ballot measures to pass some big stuff, like lobbyist reforms, term limits for career politicians, and outlawing tax hikes without voter approval.
I'm not surrendering my power and rights to a bunch of politicians and lobbyists. I'm no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Pay 4 buttons or inch prepare governance.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
Sunshine and 85 degrees in downtown St. Louis. It's 11 o'clock. I'm Debbie Monterey. Following President Trump's speech last night on election security, Department of Homeland Security Mark Wayne Mullen says DHS has identified more than 250,000 potential non-citizens illegally registered to vote in 4 states. ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas on the pushback from state officials.
So far, state officials are pushing back hard, and they're making clear that there's no evidence of widespread voter fraud. That is their words. That's their analysis. Number 2, officials are talking about the fact that many of the items that were mentioned by President Trump and now being repeated by Secretary of the Homeland Security are information, involve information that's already been put out. The information about China, for example, gaining access to voter registration files.
It's not clear how DHS conducted its preliminary review of those voting records. A man who police describe as the driver in a July 12th homicide case in the College Hill neighborhood has been charged. 26-year-old Leon Perry facing first-degree murder, attempted robbery, and armed criminal action charges. Probable cause statement says Perry allegedly drove two men to the residence of 28-year-old Jabori Bell. They shot and killed him. Perry is in jail without bond. The iconic mural that wraps around the Edison building, the old former Sheraton, is getting touched up with help from the original artist.
The Trompe-l'oeil mural wraps around the exterior of the hotel across from the Enterprise Center and is an iconic St. Louis landmark depicting the 1904 World's Fair. Sam Eastep with Midas Hospitality says they're excited to bring back the original team behind the mural, including Richard Haas, the original artist.
They're coming back to St. Louis to, re-stencil and, bringing all of the original drawings and stencils and knowledge and methodology.
Haas turns 90 next month. The restoration is underway and is expected to take up to a year and a half. Including the tuck pointing, the full exterior restoration is projected to cost $6 to $7 million. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
No lack of things going on this weekend in St. Louis, including Maddie in Grand Center. Music at the Intersection. Chris Hansen's the executive director of the Kranzberg Arts Foundation.
Workshops and conference and panels all day on Friday and Saturday. Live art, music, poetry, dance. We have circus out there. You can go roller skating this year. Local business market, the Frizzy by Nature Business and Bloom Market. Great food trucks and tasting tents. So you can just come down, discover the neighborhood, check out all the great things.
He calls it a truly multicultural, multidisciplinary event. Some are free. Other events need a ticket, and there is an all-access pass. It's spread across Grand Center, both inside and outside and in numerous venues. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Clouds and sun this afternoon and evening. Very humid with a spotty thunderstorm and a high of 90. Warm and humid overnight, low 76. Sun and some clouds, high 92 tomorrow. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Right now, it is 85 degrees in downtown St. Louis. The weather sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
Chris Ranchi, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX. It's Major News with Major Garrett, our weekly conversation with CBS's chief Washington correspondent.
It is the Chris and Amy Show, and once again, we go to the Quiver River Electric guest line. Normally, we talk to this man on Thursdays, but we had to switch it up just a little bit, so he's with us today. Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News, host of The Takeout on CBS News 24/7. You can watch or listen to that, and he's got a book, The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie, which is even more appropriate, it seems like, the last few days. Major Garrett is with us on KMOX. Good morning, Major.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
Good to have you, too. So the speech last night, what did you think?
I think Peggy Lee said it best in a song from the 50s. Is that all there is?
Yeah.
And by that, what I mean is I would love to tell this audience that President Trump is a serious, circumspect person who would never lie to the country about the importance of election results, but I can't, because he has, routinely, repeatedly. He accepts results when he's the victor. He denounces them, libels them, and slanders them when he loses. That is the contextual problem for what the president asserted last night. He did talk about things that are potential, all caps and italicized, potential vulnerabilities in our election system. He did not say that any votes have been changed. He did not say any system in our country has ever been infiltrated. He talked about one voting machine. It's made by a company called Smartmatic that operates in one county in America, one, Los Angeles. Just as a small footnote, the answer to this question is important. In which county in America did President Trump receive the largest number of raw votes in the most recent presidential election? The answer to that is Los Angeles County. He didn't win Los Angeles County, but he got the most raw votes there. But the one machine he talked about, a potential infiltration done by Venezuela under circumstances we know nothing about, is not a machine used in this country. He implied that they're connected to the internet. They are not. He knows that. States know that. Counties know that. Every election administrator knows that. He talked about China data scraping. He is known through intelligence community briefings to him, given to him in his presidency in the first term and in this one, that China is a big data scraper. No kidding. And he and his White House officials suggested there is something parallel between what a voter registration roll is and what something like Equifax possesses, or a bank account. They're not. What's on voter rolls is your name, your address, your phone number. If your state party registers you by party, your party registration, and your most recent electoral participation. That's it. Doesn't have your Social Security number, doesn't have your bank account number. It doesn't have any deeply personal and manipulatable information. So they're not the same databases. Also, most voter rolls are purchasable. Why? Because political parties want them, political candidates want them, and guess what? Consumer product makers want them because they want to know what your habits are and they want to know things about you. So this is, in many respects, publicly available data for purchase or other means. So these are potential areas in which something could be done that might be scary. I'll give you another metaphor. This is a horror movie with no monster. There's no monster in the basement. There's no monster in the attic. There's not one in the sewer. There's not one on the phone. There's not one in the back seat. There's not one at the summer camp, so there's no Friday the 13th. There are things that we could be concerned about. But I ask this, if you are concerned and you share the concerns, what would you expect a president to do about these concerns? Would you expect him to fortify the personnel and the budgets at the federal level long used to combat these vulnerabilities? You might. Trump's cut them by more than half. Would you expect him to continue the cooperation with states on best practices to detect efforts by foreign adversaries to get into our systems through these means? You might. He hasn't. He's ended all those cooperative programs. So I wish I could tell you it was a serious speech on a serious topic by a serious person, but I can't.
Major, I have always said, going back to 2016, that words matter, and words especially matter when they're coming from the President of the United States. By nature of the office alone, it should matter. And yet, somehow, 10 years later, after that 2016 election, I felt like last night somehow didn't matter, in the sense of Trump is going to say what he's going to say. He's going to talk like he always talks. Don't pay attention to what he says. We'll just see what he actually does tomorrow. And I'm starting to feel that even a lot of his, supporters feel like whatever he said didn't matter. And I hate to say that because it's the President of the United States.
Right. And we covered it at CBS because of that very fact. The President of the United States has power, convening authority, and his rhetoric matters. And oftentimes his rhetoric can last for years and years and years. And I mentioned this right off the top in our special coverage last night on CBS. Is this speech about something else? Is this speech a prelude to something darker? We didn't know how the president would phrase these things, but he said last night, catastrophic vulnerabilities. Oh, really? Your election in 2024 was the product of a catastrophic vulnerability of election insecurity? I don't think so. All the primaries this year in which your endorsed candidates, President Trump, have won Republican primaries are the product of catastrophically vulnerable, unbelievable elections? I don't think so. So that rhetoric doesn't match the reality, but is it about something else? Is it about setting a prelude to say, well, there's a national emergency, therefore I must intervene. I must dispatch federal troops. I must federalize the National Guard to show up at voting precincts, counting centers, and the like. I don't know. But that we cannot rule that out instantly gives us an idea of where we are and where we might be heading. And he does not give speeches of this magnitude for no reason. I don't know what the larger reason is. I know what he's laid before the country is interesting. It is relevant, but it is not nearly as scary as he described it. And the means by which to combat it, he appears to have no persistent interest in. So if you're going to advertise or highlight a problem as a president, I believe you're duty-bound to tell the country, we in America solve problems. We in America confront challenges. We in America put our shoulder to the wheel. We in America find new solutions. Did you hear any of that last night?
Well, no. Major, you mentioned your network. You were on the coverage of the speech last night, and I believe you guys cut away a few minutes before he was done speaking. ABC, some affiliates aired it. NBC, none of the affiliates in the country, as far as I know, aired the speech, and he is not happy with the fact that, some of the networks decided not to put a speech on. CNN did not put his speech on primetime. And, of course, he is lashing out against them. And we've already had all the drama with the FCC and ABC. Where do you see all of this going? Because it is all related.
It is all related. Networks can make these decisions. They are not obligated, not under the FCC statutes, not under anything that is commonly understood in this country, to air a presidential speech. They're not. Networks are not. They're not compelled. The president requests prime time. Most times it is given. Sometimes it is not. That's a network decision. Trust me, we had a very, you've heard this phrase before, robust and candid debate within our network about what to do. That debate went on all day and night yesterday. I believe we landed in the right place for what it's worth. I'm not the decision maker. No one would confuse me with the decision maker at CBS, but I believe we landed at the right place. We did not take the top of the speech. We waited till he got to the thing that he was to talk about, which was this election information. We shared all of that. When he began to wander off that, we left it. And then we spent the remainder of the hour interviewing a lot of people from the administration, subject experts. I like to consider myself, because I wrote a book about this, a neo or pseudo subject expert. I don't want to claim something that others might challenge, but I'm pretty well versed in this space. We had others who have far more expertise in this area, and we dissected what the president said, and we did it for a full hour. I believe that's the journalistically responsible thing to do. Other networks came to other determinations and other decisions. That's for them to talk about. That's for them to defend. I'm not in part of their conversation. I don't work there. But I'm glad we landed where we did, because I believe if you're going to do something like this, if you're going to air something like this, with all the things I mentioned that undermine this president's credibility on this topic, if you're in for a dime, you're in for a dollar, and we put our dollar on the table.
Major, there has been a clip that's been going around of Senator Jon Ossoff asking Trump's DNI nominee Jay Clayton about who won the 2020 election, and Jay Clayton tellingly was very, very silent. He wouldn't address it and wouldn't answer the question. And I bring that up because it's kind of indicative of those in office or who want to be in office in this administration who will not cross Trump at all versus maybe some senators or people in the administration who occasionally speak up. I'm thinking of a Senator Josh Hawley who has not gone along all the ways with Donald Trump, or even Marco Rubio who said, no, you can't charge a 20% tariff or a 20% fee, I should say, of ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. Right. Do you think... Well, let me ask you this. Is the thumb on the scale right now for those in leadership who pander to the president, or for those who are starting to occasionally break off?
Look, the president has many whims. I don't think that's a particularly revelatory observation. He is someone prone to changing his mind and changing his mind rapidly. But the one thing that is constant about this president, with his cabinet and with those what he regards to be in his inner circle, you must be devoted and loyal to the nth degree. And people process that preemptively. Jay Clayton clearly processed preemptively that he couldn't say, even I don't think Trump wouldn't have gotten that mad with him if he'd said Joe Biden won. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do my job. Do you have another question that's relevant to the thing I'm trying to do? And just blow it off. Like it's a non-thing. But no, he prolonged it. Not only did he prolong it with Jon Ossoff, the Democratic senator from Georgia, he prolonged it with Angus King. And because my show always likes to zig when everyone was zagging, everyone had the John Ossoff sod on their show. I had the Angus King on my show. Because in that, Jay Clayton says, well, if you're asking me, am I an election denier? I'm not an election denier. Okay, who won? Well, there was a process. Wait a minute, no. We know there's a process. The process puts you at arm's length from the actual reality, and he wouldn't go there. It was actually, I thought, more revealing than the John Ossoff one.
Mm-hmm.
But the same thing applies. Preemptively, Jay Clayton said, well, I can't possibly do this, or I might make the king angry. In my experience, Trump doesn't mind it when you make him angry if you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, even if it doesn't necessarily comport with his particular perspective. So I think Jay Clayton made his life much more difficult by looking so, and this is a big offense in the Trump world, weak and unsure of himself about something that was easy to deal with and could have been buried quickly and not turn into one of the most celebrated and repeated sound bites of the week.
In talking about Ossoff, I know that Democrats are looking ahead to 2028, and he seems to be out there a little bit more now than he was in the previous months. And I'd say for the last several weeks, we hear a little bit more from him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a precursor to something, or is it just how it's working out right now?
Look, there are fundamentals at this stage, this far away from a presidential campaign, in which everyone who's trying to meaningfully assess the field asks, can you give a good speech to a big crowd? Yes, John Ossoff can. There's plenty of social media evidence of that. He can rile up a crowd. He's not Obama, but he's not a sort of a dud. He's a decent speech giver. And he's got a very good social media presence. So that's category one. Category two, can you raise a lot of money? Unquestionably. He's raised, I believe, this cycle somewhere in the neighborhood of 40, maybe more than that $1 million. He's got more than $30 million cash on hand for this Senate race in which he's seeking re-election. So can you raise money? Yes. All right. That's category two. Can you appear resilient and grow your vote in a important swing state? That's going to be a big test in this re-election campaign coming up this November. John Ossoff narrowly won in 2020. Can he win and win handily in a vital state, Georgia? Can he put together some semblance of some kind of teeny rural coalition and a large suburban one and a concentrated urban one? Because if he can, then Democrats will say, wait a minute, that might be applicable in Michigan. That might be applicable in Pennsylvania. That might be applicable in Wisconsin. Those are kind of things that anyone who's trying to assess the field would ask. And if you can check all three of those boxes, you will be taken serious.
Major Garrett, we appreciate you as always. Let's talk again next week, if you don't mind.
That's a great idea.
Okay. Major Garrett's Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News, with us every week on 104.1 FM KMOX. And yes, you should pick up the book, The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie. It is particularly relevant now. This is KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck taxed, your property taxed, everything you buy taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. This is a great time to schedule those tuck pointing repairs. When you're out in the yard or on your patio, take a look over your brick, your stone, and your mortar joints on your walls, your chimney, your walkways, and your retaining walls. If they need repair, Morelli Tuck Pointing would love to help. It's a good idea to do that home maintenance before leaks are created or rebuilding is necessary. I've used Morelli Tuck Pointing to repair the brick chimneys, the walkways, and the walls of 2 homes here in St. Louis. The Morelli bids are fair, their crews are super polite, and Morelli cleans the job site. Don't take my word for it. Check out their Google reviews. Winner of the BBB Torch Award and the Next Door Neighbor Fave Award. 35 years in business and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Mirelli. Morelli, 314-645-1387 and MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
Taking care of yourself should fit into your life, not complicated. Neovitin Original Formula is a complete daily multivitamin designed to support your everyday wellness routine with essential vitamins, minerals, and a natural ingredient blend, all in just 2 daily tablets. Subscribe online at neovitin.com for monthly delivery or shop Neovitin at your local Schnucks and Dearborn. Neovitin Original Formula is physician formulated to fit easily into your everyday routine. All of our vitamins are manufactured in a certified GMP facility in the USA. Neovitin, make nutrition easy.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Built on a century, focused on today. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
I think The Odyssey is one of those movies, and every now and then it does happen for me where I prejudge it, and I feel like I'm already going to like it before I go in, and that does happen. I think I did that with Oppenheimer, too. I know I did it with Dark Knight, but all those in hindsight, and you let it breathe for a while, and then you go back and watch them, and yeah, they are actually good. So it wasn't just your preconception. They ended up being good, and I think this one is. I've heard nothing but great things about it. Richard Roper, who has been on the show with us before, movie critic, said it is one of the best movie experiences he's had in like the last 30 years, so we'll see. Can't wait to see it. Our guy Matt's going to go see it.
I'm going to see it tonight.
I've heard nothing but good things, Matt.
Yeah, I know it's going to be great, too, and I love that era of history. I love Christopher Nolan movies. I do have a slight problem with it, though.
What's the problem?
And again, let me clarify. I'm seeing it tonight, so this is all based off having not seen the movie. I feel like when a movie is so star-studded as this one, I feel like it's hard not to think of each character as their celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the cast for this movie, you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It's all like A-listers, which it should be. It's a huge movie from a huge director. They should use the best actors and actresses. But when it's Tom Holland and Zendaya in like their 40th movie, I feel like in the past couple years, I feel like I can only see him as Spider-Man and Spider-Man's girlfriend. You know, they're both in the Spider-Man movies. And I already know when I'm seeing this movie tonight with my friends, I'm going to be asking questions like, so I forgot, what side is Spider-Man on? Like, I'm not going to refer to him as his character name in The Odyssey. I'm going to be calling him Tom Holland or Spider-Man or Matt Damon, who's also in it. For some reason, Travis Scott, the rapper, is in
Travis
it.
Scott is in it,
I'm
yeah.
like, so
Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, things like that I think might take me out of the movie. I'm sure it's going to be a phenomenal movie, and I'm going to forget about it 5 minutes later. But I'm like, oh, what's Travis Scott, the rapper, doing in this movie? Wait, Robert Pattinson, Batman, and the vampire guy, he's in this movie too? Sometimes those things just take you out of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, like, this is a movie about ancient Greece, so they should hire Greek actors. Like, I'm not thinking that way, but it's almost too star-studded where I might have a harder time getting immersed when I'm constantly seeing
I get
celebrity
it.
after celebrity.
It feels like an all-star game.
Kind of. Yeah.
Like, I actually love all the Ocean's 11, Ocean 12's movie, but I'm very aware that it's George Clooney, and now it's Matt Damon, and now, I'm so aware of, because it is, some of the top actors are in those movies, and I get that. And I get it to the point where I wonder if it will ruin your experience, only because I brought up that Bonhoeffer movie. That's like a serious movie about a guy who's fighting the Nazis, but Flula Borg is in it as like a Nazi, I think, or a guy who's helping to fight the Nazis. But part of me only sees that, Jennifer went poo-poo at the party. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to take the movie seriously with Flula Borg in it.
So here's what's funny about that. I know what you're saying, because Flula Borg is a comedian, and he's goofy, and he's very, very funny.
Yeah.
And he
I'm
kind of plays up
afraid.
his plays up his German. I don't understand English, and I don't understand America, but he does. But he plays it up to really good effect.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you're talking about. However, there are some, like, Jim Carrey is one of the goofiest comedians of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But when he does a serious role, he is super believable. And I don't know what Flula Borg is going to be like in this movie.
I don't know either.
But Jim Carrey is an exceptional actor. Bob Odenkirk, who's very, very funny. I wouldn't call him goofy, but he's funny, and he was in Mr. Show, and he's been in comedy, and Second City is his whole life until he plays a character on Breaking Bad that's not. And he's in a play that is going on in New York right now. And I cannot remember the name of it. I think it's called Have You Now or Were You Ever? Or Are You Now or Have You Ever Been? And it's about writers who were accused of being communists.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a serious play, and there's some serious people in it. Norbert Butz is in it. He's in the play. Molly Ringwald is in it. And so that play is happening, I think, on Broadway, and it's a star-studded cast. But you don't think of Odenkirk at first you didn't think of him as a serious actor, but he's really good at it.
I agree, and Bob Odenkirk is famous, but you could also argue that he's not as visible as, like, Matt Damon and Tom Holland and Zendaya and Anne Hathaway, where it's such an all-star cast. Does their own celebrity compete with the plot at some point?
But I think Christopher Nolan's probably the best director today, where, like I said, you're going to forget about it 5 minutes later. You're going to be fully immersed in this world if it's as good as everybody's saying it is.
So it's not like, here's part of what you're saying is, I think what you're saying is Christopher Nolan tends to work with the same actors all the time. Is that part of it?
Maybe, yeah, definitely Matt Damon with, like, Interstellar, Anne Hathaway as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
And Benny Safdie, who's in it too, was also in Oppenheimer. So he's reusing that guy. By the way, Charlize Theron's in this movie.
I know. We should tell Michael Kelly.
And John Bernthal.
And Timothy Chalamet, as you brought up.
No. But, Timothy Chalamet, I think, is a recent example where it's like he's in every movie. I think Pedro Pascal was that guy for a year or two where he's in every movie. I wanted to throw this screenshot on the stream for you guys to see. I saw this on Twitter, and it kind of sparked this whole topic for me. This doesn't feel like ancient Greece. It's Tom Holland and John Bernthal, who's the actor from The Walking Dead, just like walking in a field. I don't know if it's a dig at the costumes or whatever, but I'm like, yeah, that's Spider-Man and The Walking Dead guy just hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling ancient Greece yet from that screenshot. Of course, it's one screenshot from a 3-hour movie, so that's me being very picky. But things like that, I only see them as their other characters.
I think that's fair. It's their other characters they're so successful as those characters, and they're such big names that is it hard to get lost in the story if you're just so aware of who they are?
See that? I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because you're so I'm like, although it's Matt Damon on the screen, I don't.
Because
I'm aware that it's Matt Damon, but it doesn't take me out of if the movie is good, the writing is good, the visuals are good, I'm going to get lost in it.
But wouldn't you say that for a lot of movies, though, and maybe it's not like this anymore, but when we were growing up, you would have one or two big stars. And if you had two big stars, it was sometimes it's the guy and the girl, otherwise it's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. You'd have one or two big stars per movie, and that was their film. Where this really does feel like an all-star game. Like, oh my gosh, every single one of these actors could be the title name, the number one actor for any other number of movies. And in fact, Anne Hathaway was just on the Today Show, actually, I think with Craig Melvin. And she has 5 movies coming out this year.
Yeah.
There are 5 big movies that are coming out. And yeah, I don't know.
And she's been doing it for a while, too.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been in the game for a long time.
So I don't think to me, it's not unusual that there are these ensemble casts of all-stars. I mean, the Avengers movies became that, and there were a lot of those.
Expendables.
The Expendables. Dune's kind of become that a little bit. Yeah. And Godfather, in hindsight, is that, because you have some prolific actors who went on, and Amy mentioned the Ocean's movies. Mm-hmm. So it's not, it does happen every now and then, and I think those are kind of cool. And I think that if you're going to have a blockbuster like The Odyssey is going to be, and it's going to end up doing very, very well at the box office, I imagine.
They're saying $1 billion, that it will easily do $1 billion.
As I mentioned during the last hour, it made $15 million in the Thursday preview day, which is a pretty low number. That day usually is a low number because it's not everywhere yet. And Oppenheimer, which was a blockbuster, made $10 million, and this made $15 already. So it's going to do really, really well this weekend. To me, I think every now and then when you have a film like that, it's awesome to have a bunch of actors that you know. Also, though, you kind of like to have somebody sprinkled in that you've never seen before.
A breakout performance.
Yeah, and you hope to get
someone.
one.
Yeah,
you hope to get one of those. And there are going to be a ton of people in this movie, so I'm really excited about it. I actually thought about going to do that yesterday. I didn't do it though, but I will. I'll probably next week go. I want to see it.
IMAX, they say. They say IMAX.
Yeah. IMAX, yes. Yeah, the widescreen you want to go to. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX, Gas House Gang at 12 today. Mike Claiborne, Matt Pauley, and me will be with you. David Eckstein will join the show at 12:30. That's Gas House starting at 12 on KMOX.
When Cardinals fans want to talk baseball, they turn to the Gas House Gang. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Miklasz bring insights, analysis, and opinions that fuel the conversation. And every Tuesday, Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol pulls back the curtain on his decisions and his team's performance. The Gas House Gang is the sports show sports fans can't miss. Hear it weekdays at noon on your home for the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Glover. Right now, buy 4 windows and get 4 for free and 48 months with 0% interest, same as cash. 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It's a hot one, 87 degrees, real feel 104. Sunshine and some widely separated thunderstorms tonight and today, a high of 91. This evening, a low of 76. Weather sponsored by Steve Butts and the entire Crawford Butts family. As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, Steve Butts and everyone at Crawford Butts, who have been proudly serving the community for generations, wish everyone a safe and joyful summer.
For State Senate, I like Mike. Mike Deering knows what a hard day's work looks like because he's done it his whole life.
I like Mike. He's a dad. He knows what our families are up against.
Mike Deering's a businessman. He knows what red tape actually costs.
I like Mike because Mike Deering stands with President Trump. Secure the border. cut our taxes. Put Missouri first.
I'm Mike Deering. Career politicians spend more and tax more while your family gets squeezed. I'll lower your taxes, keep your money in your pockets, and cut government waste so deep it'll make the politicians squeal.
Mike Deering, farmer, small business owner, dad, conservative. I like Mike.
I like Mike.
I like Mike. For state senate, I like Mike. Mike Deering. On Tuesday, August 4th, vote Republican Mike Deering for state senate.
Make common sense conservative leadership common again.
Paid for by friends of Mike Deering. Megan Kaiser, treasurer.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben Barnett. I'm a board-certified master arborist, and I've been caring for St. Louis trees for over 25 years. Today, I'm going to help you choose a tree care contractor. Here's how it's done, so pay close attention. First, call everyone you know who has ever done any type of outdoor work, including that cousin that used to sleep on your couch. Leave them all messages and wait around to see if they call back. Here's a hint, they won't. Now, post to all your social media that you are looking for recommendations for a good tree service. Now beware, because there will be hundreds of different recommendations. So you need to carefully go through each one, checking that they have the proper insurance, background checks, and even the slightest idea of what they're doing. Schedule a bunch of appointments, and when nobody shows up, get really frustrated and put the whole project off for another year. Or you could just call Timberline Professional Tree Care. 636-479-7475, or visit us online at stltreecare.com.
Homeowners, I know a lot of you are worried about one thing when it comes to selling, and that's leaving money on the table. Hey, this is Kevin Wheeler. I'm here with Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. So, Gloria, how do you help sellers make sure that they get top dollar?
The reality is, most homes don't sell for what they should. I see it happen all the time. They either price it wrong or they don't create enough demand. But with over 2,400 buyers in my Buyers in Waiting database and my exclusive pricing strategy, I'm able to offer my seller a 100% market value guarantee. And if I can't get you 100% of your home's market value, I'll pay you the difference. So you don't have to wonder if you left money on the table. You can sell with confidence, knowing you maximize your sale.
Make sure you get every dollar for your home. That's why you call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
So, you were asking me earlier about the haze in Chicago. Now, did anybody reach out to you? Just wildly, a friend of mine did during the break text me and say, hey, are you getting that wildfire smoke down there? And I said, no, we haven't seen that. And he said, it is actually crazy. Today, not as bad as yesterday, but yesterday was wild, he says. And I saw some photos of it and some videos from friends of mine on social media. And man, I don't know how they were getting around like that. It was awful.
Yeah. I mean, it's hazardous. It's dangerous. And so you don't want to be outside. I know that city officials were telling people stay inside if you can. Otherwise, wear a mask. Toledo, Ohio, some of the worst air quality in the world yesterday. Again, it's just wild. Now, I know when I was gone in Colorado a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about the wildfires that, we were dealing with and the smoke that I was trying to avoid. And it was nothing like what Chicago has right now. I mean, not where I was. And that blows my mind. But you guys had the Saharan dust settle over St. Louis while I was gone, because I don't know if you noticed that the sunsets and sunrises were exceptionally pretty while I was gone. And I thought you guys had the smoke, but it was dust from the Sahara Desert. That happens occasionally. It blows across the Atlantic and settles in the Midwest.
I know what it wasn't.
What?
It wasn't a haboob. I know that.
It was not a haboob. I don't think we could technically
get a haboob.
Yeah.
That's a shame. But, as I told you before, I have been in one. No, I've outrun one. I outran one in Arizona once.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
there you go.
It kind of looks like the movie. Is it The Mummy? where there's just a big cloud of dust coming at them. I outran it. It was impressive.
Hey, we've got a casserole of some topics that we can get to. You know how we brought up that the Spanish language network Telemundo is killing it on the World Cup viewership?
Yeah.
And it's not just because of Spanish speakers in the U.S., that a lot of English speakers are opting to watch games on Telemundo. So it's an NBCU-owned network. And Andres Cantor, the goal
he's awesome
guy, he's on it. So the July 5th match between Mexico and England drew 23.2 million viewers on Telemundo and 21.7 on Fox Sports. Telemundo outdrew Fox Sports. Half of this year's World Cup viewers have watched at least part of the tournament in Spanish, according to Nielsen, despite the fact that only about 20% of the U.S. Is Hispanic.
It's a more exciting in terms of the audio.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about what the words are if you don't understand them, if you don't know what's being said. It's just a more pleasing product in that way. It just sounds more exciting what they're doing.
And they have fewer commercials. I believe that they don't show ads during the hydration breaks.
We got to do away with the hydration breaks.
Really? You're not a fan?
I don't need them. Don't need them. It's not helpful. The soccer people don't need them. You know, it seems like they are doing it for an American audience and also so FIFA can get just a little bit more money. That's your guy, Andres Cantor.
It's good.
That was after Messi. Was it the game winner on? It was the last game for Argentina.
The second goal.
It was the second goal that tied it. That's what it was, because England was up 2-0 and they just coughed it up like late into the 80th minute, and then in stoppage time they coughed it up.
This video is not being looped, by the way.
No.
No, this is not. Yeah, this is not on repeat.
I think he gets one more. Sounds like he's got the Cyclospora. He's trying to pass something.
His poor voice.
God, it's so good though.
All right.
Isn't that way more exciting than the American announcers?
He shoots, he scores.
Yeah.
Nice shot there.
I think so. I think so. Okay. Also, you've heard of the World Naked Bike Ride?
Yep.
Yep. That's rather famous in the Grove. So Umar Lee.
That's how I ride around my neighborhood. Every day.
Is it uncomfortable?
And people look at me weird. I'm like, why? It's naked bike ride. And then I have to be reminded it's only once a year.
Is that why it's called a banana seat?
Yes. Continue.
That can't be comfortable.
It's
At any
fine.
rate, you might know Umar Lee. He writes, not rides. He's a writer in St. Louis.
I know Uma Thurman. All right. Sorry.
You're such an old
Was that not
man.
good, James? Was that bad?
It was bad.
James got his arms folded in the other room just staring at me.
Yeah, he's mad. Umar Lee wrote a letter to Attorney General Catherine Hanaway. Man, she's got her hands full.
She does.
She's got her hands full these days.
And I've got one about her again.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So he wrote a letter and said, listen, you need to crack down on the World Naked Bike Ride.
Crackdown?
It's a
nice.
It's a pre-party and costume contest at 4 p.m. It's in the Grove on July 25th with the Bear As You Dare. I know a few people who take part in the World Naked Bike Ride. Sometimes they use paint strategically.
Mm-hmm.
So Lee wrote that, among other concerns, families with children may be, quote, trapped as prisoners in their own homes that night, lest they, quote, lay their eyes upon a sea of unpleasant sights. So he wants the Attorney General to enforce state laws against public nudity, although St. Louis Magazine notes that seems like a long shot since the police are pretty busy and have a lot to do.
If you really think about it, it's kind of funny that we outlaw showing body parts that we all have. You know what I mean? Just walking around with it, like, we all have them.
Yeah, but that's
Let me
not the
really think
weird
about
part
it.
to me. The weird part to me is, like, I get it. It's kind of weird that we turn a blind eye to the World Naked Bike Ride when there are public nudity laws. But I guess it's kind of like if you steal writing from one person, it is plagiarism. But if you steal it from a bunch of people, it's research. I guess if
as long as you cite your source.
I guess if you're naked, it's public indecency. But if everyone's naked, it's like, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's a party if everyone's naked, I guess.
I mean, we all have nipples, unless you've had an accident. Right?
Yeah. It's not a specific accident.
It's not the way you want to go. Trust me. It's not what you want.
Okay,
to
what's
have
your
happen to you.
Attorney General story?
Attorney General Hanaway is looking into, remember what, I think we brought this up on the show a few weeks ago. And if we didn't bring it up, we at least talked about it in the office. ESPN has an NFL draft analyst named Matt Miller, who is kind of up and coming, and a lot of people viewed him as the new Mel Kiper.
Okay.
Who made a name for himself for the last 30-plus years being the NFL draft guy. And so Matt Miller was doing that. I'm pretty sure I have interviewed him before. Well, he's from Missouri, and he was back home about a month ago and got into a really terrible car accident. And it was on a rural road, and he crossed it was one way each direction, and he crossed over and hit a truck. And it looked like it was his fault.
Yeah.
And had an arm amputated. So it was a very serious accident. He tweeted from the hospital, hey, I've been out and this happened to me. I'm going to recover, whatever. But also, at the same time, or maybe a week or so later, we find out that he's being investigated by the Missouri Attorney General for potential fraud.
What kind of fraud?
Well, he was setting up all of these fantasy leagues that people could get involved. You pay a fee, and then if you win the league, you get some money in return. And he said he was doing this under the guise of a charity. He was doing it for charity. He did multiple. I mean, there were all kinds of them. Well, a lot of people who played and won reported that he was not paying them out. And so they don't know where the money went.
Oh.
And it's this investigation that's happening. But, dude, what are you doing, man?
Not
I mean,
good.
it's... And then imagine this, just forget that you may be committing fraud, okay? You have a serious car accident where you nearly almost die. You lost a limb. You wake up and they go, glad you're better. By the way, we're coming after you for fraud.
That's why you don't want to commit fraud.
Because you never know what's going to happen the day before.
You never know if you're going to be in an accident. Now you have to deal with an accident and fraud.
Always have clean underwear, too. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
If you're having a major project done at your house, it can be a long process. It can be kind of tedious or frustrating. And hopefully, though, when it's all done, you can stand back and look and think, oh my gosh, this is an incredible improvement. Sometimes it doesn't work that way, though, if you choose the wrong company. That's why I'm telling you that if you're thinking about a major project in your outdoor space, even a minor project, call Chesterfield Fence and Deck, because Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. They only use the highest quality products. They have their own installation crews with years of experience. That is extremely important. And Chesterfield Fence and Deck has been around for 58 years, a quality company, and they offer value. They're not going to be your cheapest bid, but they're going to be the best, and it's going to last for years to come. So you can stand back and think, money well spent. They'll offer you 48 months interest-free financing if you mention me, Debbie Monterey. Stop by and visit them, or visit them online right now at chesterfieldfence.com. Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, let's talk about refinancings, and let's just bottom line this. Everyone needs money at some point in their life.
You know what, Dave? There's so many different ways you can make money. Number one, go to a lower rate. If you're financed over the last 3 years, chances are you're paying a higher rate than what you can today. Refinance with the Bagel loan, no closing costs at all. That's number one. Number two, a lot of people are concerned not about the cash flow, but overall interest that you're paying. Go from a 30-year to a 20-year. The rates are lower on a 20-year versus a 30-year. Save hundreds of thousands of dollars. And third is the real easy way. You need cash. I need cash. Take cash out. Refinance now. Take the money you need. Keep the payment the same. It's easy. It's simple. All with no closing costs with that Bagel loan.
If you're looking to save money, get a little cash to your pocket, and do it with the right person, give Stewie a call or a text on his personal cell phone, 314-324-4440, or Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS 226715.
This summer, local events are happening all over the place, and I3 Broadband is a big part of it. At I3, we love being part of the neighborhood and are proud to support the events that make our communities great. We're also proud to deliver 100% fiber-to-home internet, recognized as Greater St. Louis's next-door neighborhood fave. We give you lightning-fast speeds and reliable performance. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 866-806-5485 to upgrade, because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run, because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog, but they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning. It was online in minutes. Then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi? For what?
Better not to know.
Get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in your price for 5 years and see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
All right, we have a texter, and I actually agree with this texter. I get nervous, too. 314 says, what would you say this show is rated? PG-13?
Our show?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My 11-year-old loves listening with me while we are driving. He is entertained by things such as sneezing discussions and random comments like, I don't want no Effingham when the city of Effingham came up. Did you say that?
I did. I said, Grandma, I do not want this Effingham. Yes.
But, the texter continues, I start to get nervous at other times, such as when Chris talks about Nips Out. You know, I got nervous about that too. Amy asks if Chris is talking about his stripper friend, that guy that you lived with, and now naked bike rides. That's from David in Kirkwood.
Okay. Well, David, a couple of things. We're happy that your son loves, your 11-year-old son loves listening, but he is not our demographic. That's number one. And two,
I didn't even think about that, honestly.
I don't know how to tell you this, but your son also has nipples. Okay. We all have nipples.
It's true. I will say this to David in Kirkwood. I'm just as nervous most of the time.
Well, that's just you're skittish. You're like a squirrel.
Well, because you know what? I'm always looking like, should we say that? Should we do that?
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
your
bad.
personality.
Yeah, because I don't like to say bad things, but somehow you guys bring the worst out of me.
I don't think nipples are bad.
Paul,
nipples are human. We all have nipples. James, do you have nipples?
Free them, too.
First of all.
James O'Sullivan, producing. Do you have nipples, yes or no? He refuses to answer. Why is it? What are you, a Republican in Congress?
Who won the 2020 election?
Yeah, who won the 2020 election, James? Are you being confirmed for a job as a judge? Why won't you just say it? Do you have nipples, yes or no?
Just stop. You can't ask that. You know what James knows?
What?
This is harassment.
Yes.
Now he's got a
James, are you being harassed?
Yes, he's being harassed.
Oh, you big baby.
I took that test, and it's like, can you ask your coworker if they have nipples? No.
That is not on the test.
It is on the test.
It is not on the test.
You can't do it.
Stop it.
That one doesn't need to be on the test. That one's pretty self-explanatory.
Easily PG-13, David.
All right. Have a great... Tell your son.
Nope.
Okay,
Ron,
don't tell your son. We're glad.
And don't threaten anybody.
I'm not going to threaten the kid. All right, have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back on Monday, probably. 9 a.m. But if you missed anything, KMOX.com, the Odyssey app, or wherever you get your podcasts, the whole show is there. Segments are there. Interviews are there. Again, Odyssey app, KMOX.com, wherever you get your podcast. Gas House Gang is next on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by